It is 6:01. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. It's game week in week one of the NFL. The Tennessee Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as preparations for the Denver Broncos officially are full go. Head coach Brian Callahan spoke to the media ahead of practice yesterday and talked about the process of getting rookie quarterback Cam Ward ready to play his first NFL game.
You try to reinvent the wheel, getting ready for week one, or any game for that matter, but certainly in week one, you try to do all the things you bank reps on in practices, in meetings, so there's not a lot of newness, so we can go play confident and play fast. That's the idea, especially when you got a young quarterback.
In Tennessee Vols news, head coach Josh Heupel told the media yesterday that the Vols will be without another starting cornerback in junior Ricky Gibson III. Heupel said that Gibson will be out for an extended period of time, but he doesn't have the exact timeline. The Vols are already missing star defensive back Jamon McCoy, who is still working his way back from an ACL tear suffered last season. Also, senior defensive lineman Jackson Moy suffered a upper body injury in Saturday's win, and he will miss at least this Saturday's home opener against East Tennessee State. And in some NFL news, Los Angeles Rams head coach Sean McVay confirmed yesterday that veteran quarterback Matthew Stafford, who's missed the bulk of training camp due to a disc injury in his back, will suit up for the season opener this Sunday in Los Angeles against the Texans. For all your foundation repair and waterproof needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Tuesday morning to you in beautiful Music City, USA, and a happy Tuesday. Here on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 104.5 The Zone. Visit a locally owned Scooters location near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. 615-737-1045 is the number. We are another day closer to Tennessee Titans football, and this morning we are live in Germantown at Titans House. A block party today for the people and your opportunity to come see what new Nissan Stadium looks like. We've got a model of the stadium to our right. We've got videos of the construction to our left. We've got two-tone blue all around us, and we got a lot of Titans to talk about with you coming up this morning. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins back at our 104.5 The Zone studios. We got Bop. We got Kirby. We've got 4 hours with you, and hopefully it goes better for us this morning than it did for Bill Belichick last night in Chapel Bill. Good morning, Ramon.
Good morning, Will, man. What's going on, dog?
How we doing?
A whole lot better. I will say, as much as Bill Belichick tormented me as a player, I will forever feel like, hey, he was one of the reasons that, stood in between me and that Sticky Lombardi. I can't fault him. The New England Patriots, they were good. They were real good, okay? Generational, dynasty level, okay? I'm talking about roadblocks, all the eliteness that you need, okay? That's what they were to the NFL, and that's what he meant to the New England Patriots. But lo and behold, a new pathway, a new journey in college football. I'll say this. The only reason I'm just a little bit petty is because I respect gamesmanship. I respect sportsmanship. I respect knowing how to do stuff the correct way.
Sure.
With that being said, for you, a coach, to give your depth chart and to put nobody on the depth chart, he earned that butt whooping last night.
Well, then TCU would have earned it too, because they did the same thing.
Well, because Bill, I'm sure, did it. That's why. You gotta know your opponent. You gotta know the enemy, man. And at least put or Will Bowling or Ramon Foster or Eki Bop or that was petty, and I was glad to see their face get rubbed in a little bit. But I think he'll be all right.
We'll see. This year, we'll see how all right he'll be. Long term, he's 72. We'll see how long he'll be there. What? He's not getting any younger.
That's true.
Father Time's undefeated,
That's true.
as you know.
That's true.
I think it is fair to say that we can have respect for past Bill Belichick teams without having really much respect for the North Carolina Bill Belichick, because last night All we saw from them was a 48-14 game. It's so funny to me how we always do this, and Alabama showed us the same thing. And yes, Alabama fans, I am going to start your morning by comparing your team to what Bill Belichick's disaster of a UNC team was last night. College teams are often so good on script on their opening drives and then just fall off a cliff. Like, I'm talking Thelma and Louise riding into just rock bottom, because that's what happened yesterday. Alabama and UNC both, when they built the opening script in practice, looked terrific. And then here we go. We're riding off the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was absolutely abysmal. Gio Lopez banged up in this game, the lefty starting quarterback. We got to see Max Johnson, who, yes, is the same age as Jordan Hudson, Bill Belichick's girlfriend, and he played quarterback for Bill Belichick's football team last night. Listen, I got 4 hours of these. Unlike Bill Belichick's offense and his team, I am not going to lose momentum after my opening drive and after our opening segment of the show this morning.
Yeah, what are the gloves that you took? No. You took them off. You pulled the jersey off the head, too?
As you said, we could have a lot of respect for what the previous team and franchise and program was under Bill. There ain't nothing to respect about what they put on the field last night.
It was not
nothing at
all. And I was glad to see TCU Frog. Shout out to Coach Mack. You know what I'm saying? Because we got an allegiance there, Will. You know what I'm saying? We have respect and an allegiance to what Coach Mack is, Frog, and how they played that game last night. And I know a lot of people probably saying, you guys are being petty to the elderly. Screw that. I say anytime, Will, I don't care if they got an elderly softball league, you out there in the walking class. If you jump out there.
Walking class.
I mean, straight up. Walking competition. I don't care what it is. You guys, you can have the seasoned Silver Fox, okay, 100-yard meter, okay, race. You can do that, Will, and if you lose, we can
100-yard meter?
What is it? 100-meter race.
You mix two measurements at once.
It's old people, okay?
It's early.
It's early.
We can't be held responsible for things we say before 6:15 in the morning.
Either way, I'm saying this. If there's a competition and you lose bad and you have a whole lot of hype behind it, you deserve what comes your direction.
Fair enough.
But that's, again, I always say that about sports. I tell anybody that my kids, I tell people that I play with, if you don't like it, stop it. Now, that's the opportunity that Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels have out of Carolina is this. They will get another opportunity and hopefully get better. But when it comes down to what they were last night, no, they got to eat that one. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people, I'm sure, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Indianapolis, and Nashville, all around the world that saw that man and his teams be elite. You know what they probably telling them now? Welcome to the show.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Since we can't be held responsible for what we say before 7:15 a.m., Ramon, I will say, very unlike a 72-year-old to get started so quickly and then fall off. Typically, it takes a little bit of time. 615-737-1045 is our number if you want to jump in. We are broadcasting live from the Titans House block party all day today here on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon and Will, the Buck Rising Show, cover 2 with Blade and Zach and 3HL. I'm just going to be professional now. You can come join us today. Food, drinks, music. You're going to see some special guests throughout the day. JC Latham will make this a more professional operation this morning at 9 a.m. Of course, Austin Price and his weekly spot at 8:20. And Bryant McFadden of CBS Sports will stop by at 9:20 this morning. He was in the locker room for Florida State after another team got started very quickly and then folded late as his Noles took down Alabama over the weekend.
Yeah, B-Mac, man, I'm telling you, I want to be here for that conversation. One, because B-Mac is a very smart guy when it comes down to specifically now, like he's deep into college football. He's deep into CBS Sports in general. I love hearing him talk. You hear that Tallahassee come out of him at times, man, when he's speaking. But he went directly into the locker room, man. Coach Norvell allowed him to talk to the team. There was a quote, and I actually thought it was Coach Norvell saying this win is like cologne. He was like, you can smell it, and it's good to you, but don't taste it. Don't drink it. And I was just like, ooh, okay, B-Mac.
Interesting.
I don't know where you get that from, but I like it.
Hold up. Let him cook.
Let him cook now. What Big Glow said, hold up. Let me cook. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you this morning, man?
Me?
My dog is on a run right now. I can tell you.
Listen, it's like I said last week. I forget how much better of a mood football puts me in. I'm serious.
No, seriously.
I think there are a lot of people around town right now that are nodding their heads like, yep, right there with you.
Listen, what I also –
but it's true for us, too.
What I also learned last night, too, is, man, my GOAT. I actually got on some of his shoes right now, man. Michael Jordan. I got some Jordan 1s right now. My GOAT, man, is that Michael Jordan. What I've also learned about him, other than college basketball, he ain't nothing in the state of North Carolina, okay?
Really?
I'm talking about
Makes you say that?
nothing. Carolina football really ain't nothing. We look at the Charlotte Hornets that he had going on. That they really weren't nothing when he had them either. And then you also look at what North Carolina basketball is right now. They're getting back. They are prestigious. But like other than college basketball out of the state of Carolina, he really ain't got nothing going on, man. It was awesome seeing him up there with Lawrence Taylor, dapping it up and having a good time. Randy Moss was up there. 2-time unanimous All-American out of Marshall. Randy Moss, I mean, I knew he was that great, but seeing that last night on his graphic, Lord, out of Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But
absolutely.
Jordan might want to lead that. Julius Peppers was there and everything, man. It was a great showing.
It's going to end up being the kind of show that Deion Sanders is at Colorado.
Yeah, no doubt. You want to be there.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. And the results on the field may or may not immediately translate. I mean, heck, with Deion Sanders at least beat TCU in his debut.
TCU looked good.
TCU did look good. TCU looked really good. Yep.
I'm trying to get their I'm trying to effort the running back's name right now. Number 4 for TCU.
Yeah, you were comparing him to Marshawn Lynch last night. Kavorian Barnes.
Now, you know what Vol Twitter is always going to do, right? They're going to fact check the heck out of you, Will. So apparently with Kavorian Barnes, yes, Tennessee Vols defense held him to 40 yards on 13 carries when he played for UTSA in 2023 too. But he's a better player with TCU, or he just absolutely made North Carolina defense look abysmal.
Yeah, TCU play calling and offensive line is just a little bit different from UTSA, respectfully.
Different, man.
The Tennessee fans will, and I love you, Tennessee fans. I'm one of you, but they will quickly flock to your mentions to correct you if you feel like something. They feel like something is just a little bit off. Like I put out the tweet the other day saying. Tennessee fans waking up to see Nico's stats, and it was like a gif of Jim from The Office, like grimacing and smiling at the same time. And I got hundreds of replies like, "Don't ever doubt us again. We were all awake for it." Like, okay, I was just talking about the people who weren't. I never doubted that many of you were awake for the game, but some of us, present company included, were awake at 8 a.m. drinking Coors Lights in the parking lot outside Mercedes-Benz Stadium and needed our sleep.
It's very true.
So we woke up in the morning to check the ESPN app.
No, tell the good people the good news, man.
That's exactly right. 615-737-1045 is our number. We are live today from Titans House, 601 Taylor Place in Germantown. This place is going to open up at 8 o'clock. There'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be music. You can come by, book your appointment. NewNissanStadium.com to see New Nissan Stadium. But the beauty of today is that you don't need an appointment to come by and see it. The existing season ticket holders for Nissan Stadium have had their chance. All of them have been contacted to come see this place, meaning it is open to you. So if you can't make it today, NewNissanStadium.com to book your appointment. But the Titans are at the point in the sales process where you can just show up. You can come say to us. You can see some special guests for the team who are going to be here throughout the day and listen to us because we will be broadcasting live here all day long. Streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book. Can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs as our studio is on the road this morning. Brian Callahan kicked off Titans game week yesterday. There were practice observations. There's things to note, things for you to know that happened at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. We'll recap it all for you next.
Is your concrete in need of repair? Maybe your sidewalk is shifting, your driveway is cracked and sinking, or your porch steps have moved on you. Shifting concrete can create a dangerous situation and just trip hazard around your home. What I'm also going to tell you is it can get you in trouble. Somebody trip and fall on your property. check into that. It can be a problem for you, but it's also just a big eyesore. It's Ramon Foster, and whatever's going on with your concrete, call United Structural Systems. Ask them about their polyurethane foam injections. You've heard about USS for a long time. It's the same company that's provided superior foundation repair and waterproofing to Middle Tennessee since 1994. Well, they can also fix your sunken or settling concrete. USS uses polyurethane foam injections to lift and repair your sinking concrete in a matter of minutes. Lifted concrete can be walked on immediately or even driven on after about 30 minutes. So don't go through that long, expensive process of ripping out and replacing concrete. Reach out to the company I trust, man. You can go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Live from Titans House in Germantown, Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee. Visit a locally owned Scooters near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. 615-737-1045 is our number. Live from the Titans House block party all day today. For the first time ever, Titans House is open to the public, no appointment required. You can come join us, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. here at Titans House, located at 601 Taylor Place in Germantown. Notes for the practice field yesterday, Ramon. First and foremost, we're here. Game week.
Yeah, we are.
No more training camp updates and vibes, and obviously media is not watching the whole practice. Now they're putting that thing under lock and key. We've got an open locker room to talk to players. We've got some injury reports, but how much for a player does just the overall mood of practice and just feeling around the building change in a game week?
Now is when you start to feel like I've made it to the NFL. It's this week. Like leading up to it, it's the draft season, it's the free agency season, it is the OTAs, it's the mini camp. I'm leading up to say all of it's so many people around and so many different scenarios, Will, to where when you get to that final cut day and you get to this week leading up to it, like the idea that you're on a roster sets in. Because here's the thing, that 90 turns into 53 plus practice squad. Practice, you got a little bit more room to maneuver around with because it's not crowded. You ain't got to deal with, man, I hate to say this, but the fluff of having to keep young guys in check, or having to deal with the foolishness of, hey, can we take it a little bit more serious right now? What I will say is going into the regular season, guys understand the weight of what these games mean. We go from being loose to joking around. There's still some elements of it too, but you understand by the time Friday hits, it's real. Jobs are on the line, performance is on the line, and your integrity of what you are as a team. And I say as a team because that's how you're judged. You as a player will man, you balled, but your team sucks. You don't want that to be the conversation. And everything that you've talked about up to from OTAs to this point, man, becomes reality. And that's why, I love it. You erase the fluff, my dog. It really does. It gets serious. I remember my first time around the sun doing this thing in 2009. And I didn't really get it because you're thinking to yourself, well, who's going to run scout team? You are. And you're going to get some reps with the vets. And because it's the preparation for the scenarios that got to happen throughout the game. If you are the 6th or 7th offensive lineman, you got to get those reps. If you are the 6th wide receiver, you'll see that guy running crazy down the field on special teams. The quarterbacks got their own little regiment, the defense and the scenarios that you run into. Everything is based and focused on the game.
Get the starters ready for the game.
Oh, Will.
Yeah.
You and your little foolishness over here, that don't matter.
That's got to be really different for people who've always been at the top level of their age group or position or team. Because odds are if you make it in the NFL, obviously, you've not been a scout team guy very much in your career. Maybe not since you were 18 or since you were on the JV squad in high school. And then all of a sudden – you're being shown a card right before a play and being told, all right, this is what I need you to show because Zach Allen's a really good defensive lineman, and instead of getting you ready to play left tackle today, Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon, you're going to be the defensive lineman in this individual period.
Absolutely, man. Or, hey, all that stuff you did in training camp as a defensive as a D tackle, that was cool for you to make the team. I need you to look like Aaron Donald right now. I need you to look like Jeffrey Simmons right now.
Nick Bonito this week for the Denver Broncos.
Absolutely. Yeah. Those are the types of things that that you run into this week, man. And it does kind of hit guys differently, too, because to your point, some guys have been the big dogs since junior year in high school. Never not been the guy. Now you got to minimize yourself to service more than it is to please yourself.
Titans appear to be healthier than they were at the end of training camp as yesterday corner L'Jarius Sneed, right tackle JC Latham, who will join us at 9 o'clock this morning, defensive lineman T'Vondre Sweat, and center Lloyd Cushenberry were all at practice in uniform. Safety Kevin Winston Jr., running back Kalel Mullings, also back at practice as well. T'Vondre Sweat telling reporters in the locker room yesterday, I feel great, I am ready, football is football, I am ready to go, I feel good. I feel great. Any concern for you about Sweat at altitude, considering he's not really practiced a whole lot? And Brian Callahan said last week that the challenge with him is just going to be getting back to total game shape.
Absolutely. Yes. That part of it. Any player that goes out there, even the quarterbacks who don't have to run a ton will feel that altitude. And he being a big guy like myself and others that have gone to Colorado or Denver, Colorado to play in that game, you feel it initially. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, no, you'll be all right. You will eventually be okay. Get going until like midway through the first quarter. I'll say even after the start of the second half, you'll feel it then, and then you'll get acclimated to it. Oxygen will be used. And for a guy like him, how long was Tavondre out? Heck, he didn't do any joint practice against any of the teams. He's been
from, I believe, week 1 of training camp.
Yeah. I am lightly concerned, to be completely honest with you, Will, about the conditioning, how long he'll go, and just his response to it. Again, he said it in his comments right here, I'm ready, football is football. Correct. But like I know when them legs go, your play and everything else goes with that.
So who gets those snaps then? If JC Latham does not have a full workload, does that mean we see more Shy Tuttle?
Shy Tuttle, James Lynch, probably, just because of the body mass and what you're going to need in those situations. You got to go with veterans that understand it. The rotation that you hope that this Titans interior defensive line can get will be good. It'd be phenomenal if Tavondre Sweat can play 60% of the snaps, which is appropriate for his position. I don't think that's bad. What I'm saying is this. I don't deny that he'll be ready. But if they have a long extended drive or they're doing tempo and pace, which is what I would do, I wouldn't want him fully energized running down my face of my offensive lineman. If I could, I would tempo the heck out of a guy like him and try to see when is he going to tap. Not that he will, but if you can keep him on the sideline for midway through a series while your guys cook up and down the field, I would live that life 100%.
Titans head coach Brian Callahan, speaking yesterday, was asked, how do you get Cam Ward ready to play in his rookie debut? And the head coach had this to say.
Just like any young quarterback, you want to do things that they're comfortable with, and you want to play fast. So we don't have you try to reinvent the wheel, getting ready for week 1, or any game for that matter. But certainly in week 1, you try to do all the things you bank reps on in practices, in meetings. So there's not a lot of newness. So we can go play confident and play fast. That's the idea, especially when you got a young quarterback. There's going to be plenty of things that he's going to see that maybe he hasn't seen, and he's got to manage those things. But from a defensive structure perspective, but at the end of the day, try to put him in position to play as fast as possible and as confident as possible on the road.
Confident and fast with what he is comfortable with. Ramon, what do you see Cam Ward already being comfortable with within this offense?
Just handing the ball off, knowing how to
Fair
do
enough.
that and set guys up. The only reason I bring it up because he said he want to keep it simple too. Comfortable for him is throwing out. That's the same stuff that he's done in college, man. Being able to get those quick hitters out of his hand and give it to his wide receivers to make plays for him. I will say the short to intermediate passes, the 5 to 7 yarders, he's there. And then again, too, it's got to be a point to where he will take a shot. What I have seen him be very comfortable with as a young rookie quarterback is this ability to throw into a spot on the sideline. I would say what we didn't see
outside the numbers,
using the out of bounds hash right there. I thought that's been really good for him. It can be risky, but he's comfortable doing it though, and that to me says if the opportunity presents itself, you got your guys playing inside, you want them to break out, he can make those throws, man. But the quick screens, the 5 to 7 yarders across the middle, and his ability to play the sideline, I thought has been really well and comfortable. That has been a consistent thing for him. I feel like we've been able to view this training season.
To me, it is deep crossers, and it's moving the pocket. Two things that I see Cam Ward already being really comfortable with. The throw he made to Van Jefferson against the Atlanta Falcons, the throw to Elikiah Manor that was a long gain. It's that area 10 to 20 yards down the field between the hashes or outside the numbers and throwing someone open against a zone defense that I see Cam Ward really comfortable in. The challenge is, and we'll talk more about Denver tomorrow and kind of start to scout them as we often do on Wednesdays, they don't run as much zone. In fact, they utilized a man blitz on 23.3% of dropbacks faced last season. That was the second highest rate in the NFL. Only the Detroit Lions ran more man blitzes than the Denver Broncos last year. So it's important for Titans receivers to get a little bit of separation because you are going to be blanketed by really good, sticky corners. And Vance Joseph and the Denver defense, they trust their defensive backs enough to put them on an island and come after you. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those games, too, Ramon, where you have a legitimate one covering your number one. Yeah. Pat Surtain II is as good as it gets. Pro Bowler in 4 straight years. This is his 5th season. He was only targeted on 11% of his coverage snaps last season. That was the lowest rate among 83 corners who had more than 300 coverage snaps last year. Mm-hmm. He is the type of corner that will put your number one on an island. It is critical, Ramon, that someone else step up. There's got to be a second guy within this offense. Calvin Ridley, I think, is going to have a monster season. These are the kinds of matchups, though, that give me a little bit of worry about the offense because of how much they're going to be able to slow down Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And the other side of being very, very comfortable with your DBs to play man-to-man like that, too, is the defensive line that you have up front. The pressure that it could also cause for this Titans offensive line, man. You don't play that style if your guys up front can't create havoc or at least stay in their lane and be very opportunistic with that, too. Just looking at their lineup a little bit, man, and you got to bring up a guy like DJ Jones up the middle, too. He's been a solid vet in this league for a very long time. That's the only place I want to stick at right now because we'll talk more about them tomorrow. But with that being said, he's a heavy body up the middle, man, that can be agile left to right. And if he's in a position where he can push the pocket, Cam has been very comfortable in the pocket. That's another thing, too, Will, I should have brought up when you asked me where is he comfortable at. He's comfortable staying in the pocket also and navigating that. But when you have guys up front that can slow your wide receivers down and press them, this is where Cam's got to be smart with the ball. Take that wheel route. Take that dump off to the tight end across the middle right there that's sitting down. This is where the beginning parts of what OTAs was for Cam when I think he had a comment about taking what was there for him. You know, when Callahan wasn't allowing him to throw down the field. This is where all those teachings come into play because you got to think like we are. The talent is good, but it's not great. When you mention those corners that are on this Denver Broncos defense, namely Pat Surtain, I think will be mirroring Calvin Ridley, that can slow you down. And that's where Cam's got to be smart with the ball and other guys got to win. The same stuff we talked about towards the end of the training camp. Cush going back. Mm-hmm. He said he's trying to get his win back and everything else from him missing time.
Lloyd Cushenberry, who is going to start this game.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Lloyd Cushenberry is your starting center on Sunday.
Yeah, he is.
Barring a setback this week, obviously. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Right
I would be shocked if he wasn't the guy at this point. No, I think against man coverage, though, that much, Ramon, specifically, if Cam Ward can stay upright against the defensive line and defense that led the league with 63 sacks last season, I think there's an opportunity, if you do move Cam out of the pocket, like I'm mentioning, to win late in the play. Yeah. Can you get loose for kind of the second play before the play's over? That's where I think the Titans maybe this is where Cam Ward's comfort doesn't overlap with Brian Callahan's comfort, because I think what Cam Ward's comfortable with might not totally be what the head coach is comfortable with yet. He's going to have to earn the right to say, hey, look, if something's not there, roll out, get on the run, and make something happen. We're going to have to get to that point. Yeah. But I do think if you were asking Cam Ward what he's comfortable with, he'll tell you that part. He'll say, no, let me get out of the pocket. Let me make a play and make something happen. I don't know if this is the game to do that maybe as much like you're mentioning.
But you know, like, that's what also makes those players great. It's not what they can do on schedule. To your point,
that's why you draft the quarterback number one overall.
Exactly. It's one of
and live with the mistakes.
Absolutely. I'd rather say Wold and Sickle.
I just don't know if this is the game to really dive into that element of the offense.
But I will say that you want to see some of that, because that's what, as a coach, gives you confidence to continue to let him do those things too. If he is, and I would highly doubt he's a player that wants to stick by the script every single time. To your point of what you just said.
It's not who he is.
His ability to roll out.
That's right.
He's got to show coach those type of situations for coach to either bring that back in or say, hey, we'll do more of those things. So I like the mentality of what he's shown us and the fearlessness of it too. I ain't got no problem with a quarterback doing his thing. I'll forever say, you can go do you and be in space and be creative as long as you take care of them shoulders and those legs. If you know when to slide, if you know when to get out of bounds, and please don't lead with your shoulders, because you are an open target if you lead with your shoulders. That's a football player right there.
That's why some quarterbacks end up getting a late July surgery right before training camp because they led with their shoulder.
That does.
We have a moratorium on talking about that player, though. Brian Callahan talked about the self-inflicted negatives, the story of the offense, the quote-unquote sins of the offense, self-inflicted negatives that the team is trying to eradicate this weekend in Denver.
We're talking preseason, so it's certainly not predictive. Not trying to jump ahead of anything and say that this because we did this, we're going to continue that process. But it does give us some game analysis and quantitative data from actual football games. I think we were the least penalized offense in the preseason. I think we were in the top 10 least penalized defenses in the preseason. Our biggest issue, I think, numbers-wise, was we had a little more on special teams than we would have liked, but we got to get that improved. But I think we're one of the top 10 least penalized teams in the 3 preseason games. We had 0 fumbles offensively. We held on to the football. We only threw 4 interceptions, so we protected the ball the way we want to, and we extracted it. We had 2 forced fumbles, so that put us, I think, 6th in the league in the preseason. Had 2 interceptions, so we were, I think, about middle of the pack in the turnover and the extraction portion of the ball security. So those things showed up. Didn't have a lot of pre-snap issues. So all the things that we emphasized, it felt like that we got over the course of the preseason games. And again, so it doesn't get taken out of context, I'm not saying that that's going to carry over to the regular season, but it's good to see that what we emphasized showed up in real game action. So happy about those things and good to see those actual data points get verified for us. So that was good.
That's Titans head coach Brian Callahan speaking with the media yesterday. Ramon, I feel like there is legitimate optimism that they have correctly addressed a lot of the things that challenged them last year. Getting off schedule, whether that was with penalties, with sacks, with turnovers.
Fumbles.
But I also think Brian Callahan learned his lesson that there was a lot of good that happened this time last year, too, that just didn't translate to the regular season, and is re-emphasizing these points to say, like, when the lights turn on, we've still got to be doing the same things and following the same good habits because we did last year.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I was knocking on wood. He was saying all the knots and positivities that this team has done in preseason. So you mentioned no fumble snaps and stuff. I'm like, Coach, don't say that too loud, man. But what he's getting at to me is he's solidifying his job too by saying we've done the necessary things to make this team a squad that can win on Sundays if we do all of these things correctly. He mentioned the small stuff, I felt like, more than anything, the penalties, the turnovers, his team's getting turnovers. That tells me that there was an emphasis on his coaches to do the things that they're asked to coach, to teach the guys the things that they won't coach, what they want to look like on the football field. Those are all the small things, Will, that allow you to escape stadiums with victories. Those turnovers, those non-fumbles that you have from time to time. It is a unique situation when you can have a team that you feel like, and Mike Bergonzi, Chad Brinker said it, a little bit less than talent-wise. There is a build-up to get them better. But if you can do the small things over and over and over again, you wait on the opposing team to make a mistake. That's honestly what I thought Carolina was going to do last night. North Carolina Tar Heels was the Bill Belichick way of operating was do our thing, focus on us, and when they make a mistake, we capitalize. That's what I feel like Coach Callahan is saying to his squad when it comes down to how they need to play to win games.
615-737-1045 is our number as we broadcast live this morning from the Titans House Block Party. 601 Taylor Place in Germantown. Carve out a little bit of time to come by and see us this morning and take a look at new Nissan Stadium. We got the model of the stadium to our right. No appointment required. Open to the public, free parking, there's food, there's drinks, there's going to be music, there's special guests throughout the day as we broadcast live here at 104.5 The Zone all day here on this Tuesday. 615-737-1045. More on TCU UNC. If you went to bed at halftime last night because that thing wasn't in the game anymore, I don't blame you. And we will catch you up on what you missed coming up next.
It's Ramon and Will here for Window Nation, man. Whether you have old, drafty windows or cheap, builder-grade windows, now's the time to replace your windows, man. Protect your home ahead of the fall and winter weather. You know it get kind of sticky here. Cold is what I should say. Get replacement windows from the best company there is for windows, and that's Window Nation. Get their top quality, energy-efficient windows from a trusted company, all at a reasonable price. Window Nation knows replacing windows is an investment, and they want to make it affordable to you. Window Nation has some of the best replacement windows out there, Will.
And Ramon, they've got one of the best deals out there. They've got the best deal for the people. Save big this month. Buy 2 windows, and you'll get 2 for free. Make no payments for 2 years. You won't have to deal with monthly payments, a down payment, or interest until 2027 when you replace those windows with Window Nation. We love working with Window Nation because of their A-plus rating for the Better Business Bureau. Their 50-point inspection of every window before it leaves the factory. 45,000 5-star reviews. Call them at 866-90-NATION. Schedule a fast, free estimate online at windownation.com. That's Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, and online at windownation.com. What's up? It's Will Bowling. I want to tell you about my new obsession here just in time for football season, Daisy French onion dip. Listen, my diet just consists of chips and wings and veggies and this outstanding dip right now. That is the best way to enjoy a game, whether you're watching by yourself, you just hold it in the container, just dipping whatever you need, or if you're bringing that container and acting like it's homemade because you're going to a watch party and you want to impress your friends. Daisy has come out with this delicious Daisy French onion dip and a Daisy ranch dip. I'm telling you, these are a game changer. They are as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients that you'd find in your own kitchen. The best part is they're everywhere. Go by your local grocery store. Check them out. They are terrific. You're going to need as much ammo as you can possibly get for the weekend of football that we have coming up. We're just a couple of days away from professional football. Go by your local grocery store. Check it out. That's Daisy French Onion Dip at a grocery store near you. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Wrapping up Hour 1, live from Titans House in Germantown. Open to you all at 8 a.m. Come by and see us. Come by and see what new Nissan Stadium's going to look like. No appointment needed to find out more. 615-737-1045 is our number. TCU beats UNC 48-14 last night, and with 70 new players between transfers and incoming recruits, Bill Belichick and his new era at UNC, Ramon Foster, did not start well. Is this a sign of a long season for North Carolina, or did you think TCU was just that good last night?
I got to give TCU credit. They were going in, I think people thought they were just going to get run down and just be this low-class university that Bill Belichick was going to pull his wizardry out on. Absolutely not. What I will say about Bill Belichick and the players that he has on that team and the players that he's going to recruit, because you have Carolina Bill as your coach, because you have one of the best, if not the best, coach to ever coach the game, him, Nick Saban, there's a group of others, Coach Philip Former, in that fold, man, your target's big. You need to understand that teams given the opportunity are going to kick you in the teeth and pull their belt off and do the B to A situation every single chance that they get. That's what I will say to Coach Bill Belichick. This isn't the NFL where you got 24, 25, 26, 30-year-olds also that understand how to be mature, where you don't have to teach mistakes. You got to think Bill Belichick's in a situation where he's correcting mistakes. He's developing players. He don't have to deal with that too much in the NFL. Those guys get cut. He finds the best 53 and he coaches those guys up. So the weight of what he's doing is simply the understanding of where he's at. And that's why I was laughing at him playing that game of not releasing them depth chart. Like, I know what you said, like TCU coach did it also. Coach Heupel did.
Sonny Dykes for
Sonny
TCU.
Dykes. Yeah. Coach Heupel did or for a lot of his positions too. But these college coaches are just as good as you are at this level because they understand what their offenses need and who they are as coaches for the programs they're at. Bill Belichick's going to North Carolina. They've had some good players come out, but that's not a blue blood.
Right.
He's got to fight Florida State, Miami, and Clemson before he even gets into being considered good in that world.
I really wonder how things could go there as the season goes if it gets away from UNC a little bit. Because when you build your program on, hey, I'm going to get you to the league, and then things don't go the way you expected, how quickly do those players start thinking about, well, what's best for me to get to the league? Even more so. Like, that is another program that is built on a fairly transactional relationship. You come play for me, I get you into professional football. You do need a certain amount, Ramon, of college football players who deeply care about the name on the front of their jersey and not as much about putting the name on the back of their jersey in professional football.
Yeah, man.
You can't build a program just based on being an NFL feeder program. You got to have some guys who know that they're going pro in something other than sports.
Yes, you do. Yeah, yes, you do. And that's what I meant by, like, it's not just his 53 anymore. Those guys are developmental. He's going to need some wild guys on special teams that won't make plays for him on offense. You know what I'm saying? Or the walk-on guys he now got to pay attention to that he probably didn't give two flips about when it comes down to the practice squad in the NFL. You're 100% correct. If it doesn't go well for him, you mentioned that side of it, he'll be given grace.
Not by the public.
No.
I mean, like Alabama, we're ready to dunk on Bill Belichick anytime we can.
I'm talking about Dwayne Wade, LeBron James off the backboard, right?
He'll be given grace by his school, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be given grace. I don't think that's a foregone conclusion. He might just not know how to do this.
Well, I'll say this. Carolina, you're right. His school will give him grace. And I think there will be an attraction. There will be the attraction that I always say, well, just give him time. Just give him time. The issue that he has about the just give him time is this. Is the portal muddies that water.
He's also 72.
Well, yeah.
How much time does he have to continue coaching? I'm not trying to be morbid. But
No. I'm not laughing at that. I am laughing at the fact that they went after this hire to make a reset of what they think their football program is. When I say give him time and grace, it's got to be the money that he wants to receive up front to show that he can recruit. And that's the other side of it too. How much of that is he doing? Because right now, Carolina is third in that state. Well, I guess you got to almost box in the Carolinas.
We'll see. They'll play a lot of the teams in that state.
Yeah, they
play
will.
Charlotte next week.
They do.
Or this week. Now it's Tuesday.
And that could get ugly for them. That's not a throwaway game, in my personal opinion.
I don't think there's any throwaway game for them this year, the way they played last night.
Yeah, no, absolutely
now,
not.
The other side of this, too, to be fair, is TCU might just be that good. And that's why week one is so challenging, especially in college football, with as much roster turnover as there is. TCU outrushes North Carolina 258-50 last night. 1.8 yards per rush for North Carolina, 7.4 yards per carry for TCU. I thought Josh Hoover was terrific. I thought it was easy to understand why there were a lot of fans in Knoxville that were clamoring for him to be the Tennessee quarterback. And I think for a lot of people up in Knoxville, he was the top guy on the list. 27-36, 284, 2 touchdowns, a pick, and Kavorian Barnes, whom you mentioned earlier this morning, 11 carries for 113 and a touchdown. Jordan Dwyer, 9 catches for 136 and a score. TCU and Utah look like the top 2 teams in the Big 12 after week one.
Sir.
We're going to learn about Arizona State. They play an improved Mississippi State squad this upcoming weekend, and that's going to be a prove-it game where I think we learn a lot about both those teams. But the Big 12 is going to be fun this year, Ramon. It's going to be really, really fun.
We got a break on this one, but you mentioned something, man. It made me think, well, why hire Bill Belichick? When you mentioned time, you need 5 years. And like you said, we're not being morbid about this thing.
I'll push back on that. I don't think you need 5 years.
The timeline is
football.
Usually 5.
Not anymore.
Usually it's,
I think you need
5. 2 is a quick reset.
Kirby Smart made the national title in year 2. Nick Saban made the national, was right there in year 2. Josh Heupel made the Orange Bowl in year 2. I mean, in today's era of college football, as quickly as you can turn over a roster,
2
you
years.
don't need as much time as you used to.
What was appealing last night about any recruit that wants to come there then? Nothing.
The amount of NFL Hall of Famers who are there. That's
Them dudes
about it.
don't pay your check.
Exactly. No, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's cute.
The facilities, the campus, all of it. There will be a lot that appeals, again, to transfer portal prospects who want a quick flip to put them in position to be a professional football player. I just don't think you can build a serious program that way.
Yeah, no.
615-737-1045. Brian Callahan needs guys to step up at one main position as the Titans head to Denver this weekend. You'll hear from him coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster and Will for Volunteer Traditions. Yes, the clothing and apparel that you absolutely need for any Vols game day scenario situation. It doesn't matter. It can be baseball, football, basketball. Does not matter. Look, you can wear it to the golf course. Simply is one of the best apparel brands around, man. When it comes to Vol apparels, nobody does it better than Volunteer Tradition. Listen, they started on campus back in 2006 and have grown it to be the best Vols apparel on the market, from polos, outerwears, tees, hats, and more. It's perfect for Saturdays in Neyland, man. I'm going to give you the website, and my guy Will is going to do the exact same thing. You can head over to volunteertraditions.com and load on the new apparel like we did last week, Will.
We absolutely did, Ramon. I was rocking my Volunteer Traditions hat with the Rifleman logo down in Atlanta over the weekend. Started on campus by a Vol for Vols fans. Volunteer Traditions has grown into the go-to place for anyone looking to represent Tennessee. From classic, timeless polos and outerwear to tees and hats, every piece feels like it belongs in Neyland on a Saturday. Started back in 2006 on campus. Check them out, volunteertraditions.com. Gear up like a true Vol fan online at volunteertraditions.com. Hey, what's up? It's Will Bowling. Do you have a plumbing issue going on at home? Whether that is a leaky faucet, maybe you got a clogged drain, there's a water heater that's gone cold. Well, whatever your issue is, the plumbing professionals at Lee Company have your back. Available 24/7 year-round, Lee Company's licensed technicians can save you time, money, and all the stresses that come with an ill-timed plumbing issue. Just contact their award-winning team at leecompany.com. You can call them at 615-567-1000. Lee Company has been helping Middle Tennesseans for over 80 years. Yeah, since 1944. You've been in business that long, you learn how to do business the right way, and they're available 24/7. The second something is not working the way it's supposed to around the house, contact Lee Company online at leecompany.com. They'll be out from one of their 14 community locations to help make things run smoothly. So again, if you got that plumbing issue, the leaky faucet, the clogged drain, that water heater that's been some days working and some days not, check them out at leecompany.com. 615-567-1000. Lee Company, all you need.
It is 7:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. It's game week in week one of the NFL. And the Tennessee Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as preparations for the Denver Broncos officially are full go. JC Latham returned to practice, as well as Tavondre Sweat, Khalil Mullings, Kevin Winston Jr., L'Jarius Sneed, and Lloyd Cushenberry were all full go in practice yesterday. In college football last night, TCU dominates North Carolina and head coach Bill Belichick's college debut, 48-14. That included two defensive touchdowns and a 75-yard touchdown as well for the Horned Frogs. In Tennessee Vols news, head coach Josh Heupel told the media that the Vols will be without another starting cornerback in junior Ricky Gibson III for an extended period of time, but there is no exact timeline. The Vols are already missing star defensive back Jamad McCoy, who's still working his way back from an ACL tear he suffered last season. Also, senior defensive lineman Jackson Moy suffered an upper body injury in Saturday's win over Syracuse, and he will miss at least this Saturday's home opener against East Tennessee State. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Hour number 2 on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, with the crew all here on a Tuesday morning, a gorgeous Tuesday morning. Blue skies overhead. We're out amongst the people, live at Titans House in Germantown, where you can come by and learn more about new Nissan Stadium in just an hour. We got food. We've got coffee that's coming out here. We've got a lot of special guests that are going to come by as 104.5 The Zone broadcasts here from Titans House all day long. Ramon Foster, existing season ticket holders, have had their chance to see the stadium. Now it is open to the people. No appointment needed. What do you think of the model stadium over here?
Listen, if you haven't thought about getting tickets, seeing that is going to make you want some, okay? Not only just that, they have this video that's playing too on this projector board that's showing the layout of it, and all I can think is, if you got a couple extra coins, like you need to kind of get in on this, because it's going to explode. And one thing we know is the NFL and the Titans are going to allow this to be something you want to be a part of, man. I'm not saying this is an investment. Well, it is an investment to be made, but it is it's attractive is what I'm saying. It is very attractive,
You
man.
are investing on the ground floor, both on the field and in the seats.
Yes, you are.
The Tennessee Titans. And there are a ton of price points. There are a ton of different ways to get in the building, and come by and see it. If you're on the fence, at least come hang out with us for a little bit. Get a bagel or muffin and some coffee, and they open an hour.
Yeah.
So free parking, easy to find up here. You got two-tone balloons everywhere, right in the heart of Germantown, an area that is becoming one of my favorites in Nashville, Ramon. I love it over here.
I was talking to somebody a couple weeks ago. They were from out of town. They went into Germantown. They had a good old time, I was told, man.
It's a lot to do.
It was a nice restaurant I like over here, man, that I will not name. But it is it's a good area. I love what Germantown is. Plus, the Sound Stadium's not too far either.
That's right.
Yes.
It's a good spot. So Titans have crushed it with this whole area and the immersive experience of all the videos and all of the pictures and the model stadium that's massive. Like
Yes.
that's more than just a Lego set that a kid put together. That thing's as legit as it gets. So it is a great place to come learn more about the stadium and learn more about the future of the Titans. So good stuff here in Germantown at, again, Titans House, opening at 8 o'clock, 601 Taylor Place, where you can come by and see us. My biggest question, Ramon, for Titans and Broncos on Sunday is, can receivers not named Calvin Ridley get open? Brian Callahan appears to have the same question himself, talking to the media yesterday, talking about guys stepping up and making plays not named Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think someone has to, to sit here and say that we have they have to emerge. Someone's got to step up and make the plays. I feel good about the group of guys we have going into Denver. I like the work that we put in, but certainly we got some unproven players and we got some young players that have done it, that haven't done it yet. But I like where those guys are at, and we're going to use anybody that's up on game day. We're using. They're all going to have roles. We're going to make sure that they're in the right spots to have success. And again, we're a team that's in prove it mode right now, and all the things that we feel good about, we're going to have to go do and show it on game day, regardless of how good I feel about the process leading up to it. But I'm confident in the group we have, and I'm excited to go do it, and we just got to go do it.
Ramon, who is the primary playmaker besides Calvin Ridley who needs to have a good game Sunday?
Tyler Lockett, just because if they got pressure up front, his ability to get open out of the slot and cross the middle is something I would love to see him do, to be able to loosen up what's going on outside on the edges, man. I would say Tyler Lockett is the first guy that comes to mind to me, most definitely. And he's the most seasoned guy, too. There's an expectation. When you're a veteran, that like you got to show the other guys why you stayed around the league for this long. I truly believe that. I think Kevin Zeitler has the same pressure as an offensive lineman as a veteran wide receiver does.
I think this is a big Tony Pollard game, and I think the Titans are ready to kind of unleash Tony Pollard in a sense, because I think they felt really good about his training camp and the way he practiced and the way he performed behind a better offensive line, and they've been keeping him under lock and key. We haven't seen him in preseason games, aside from that first one.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him practice as much because he's gotten the work in, and it's time to learn what you have behind him and Julius Chestnut and Khalil Mullings, but especially without Tajay Spears and with presumably Julius Chestnut being the second back, who I think they really were high on coming out of this camp as well. And Mike Bergonzi, I think, really felt good about the way Chestnut played and earned that role where they felt like they didn't have to bring somebody else in. This was the number 3 run defense in the NFL last season in Denver, but I'm really curious, Ramon, how much better Tony Pollard is behind an improved offensive line in 2025 versus a really good showing in 2024.
That's the biggest component of it all, is the improved offensive line. We saw them work together. We saw those guys be available. We're seeing now the better part of your center position look like he's going to be available and be a starter in this game too. I lay my head on that with you. But here's the other side of it too. How does he last throughout the duration of the game for the guys that got to come in and give him a spell? It would be, I think, the best way of getting the best version of him. And I do agree with you. I do think he has the ability to see this offense, understand this offense better, have better guys up front and willing participants in the blocking game too. Not just the offensive line, but the wide receivers who are a part of that. We saw in training camp when I was bruising your friggin' arm and saying, hey, that's a real run right there. And that's because he understands how wide he can go or how tight to the line of scrimmage he needs to be, on top of Alec Ayumaner being a guy that knows how to block and want to block. You look at what Calvin Ridley has done outside the edge too. I think he was asked questions about his ability to block or want to. The want to block. He expressed that too. And this team, again, has to have all hands on deck to have a guy like Tony Pollard have the game that they need. The best way to sell a rookie quarterback is to contribute to his ability to just hand the ball off consistently.
It does feel like Brian Callahan's ready to kind of throw the young guys to the wolves, though. That was kind of the theme of what I took away yesterday, saying, look, we feel like we got some good young players. We don't know if they can do it on this level, but we're about to find out. And to me, that suggests get ready to see Alec Ayumaner a lot.
Yeah.
Just because Van Jefferson started camp as a starter doesn't mean he's still a starter. I think already, Ramon, you're going to see Alec get starting level snaps. I think it's going to take a little bit longer for Chimere Dike because I think at this point of his maturation, he's a little bit more of a specialty piece as a deep threat, as a speedy guy that can win in tight one-on-ones or take the top off the defense as a deep target. But I see Alec Ayumaner getting more snaps right away. I see DK being more of a teamer, returner, and, hey, if we want to take a shot, or if we want the defense to think we're taking a shot because we want to open up other things underneath, that's when we put in DK for 15 snaps or so. I think Alec Ayumaner is closer to 25 or 30 snaps in this game.
I would also throw Gunnar Helm in that conversation too, just because of what you see his catch radius being. Again, we speak about those outlet players and being down the middle. I think he can play out there. I also want to go to the defensive side of it too and look at Femi Oladejo. Him being in a position where I think he's going to play heavy in that rotation. And I feel like as a show, we got to still have Cedric Gray in a young guy situation. He could, opening day starter on the road like this, playing against a team like the Denver Broncos, he's in that conversation to me also, Will, of guys that have the ability to make plays. I'll say this, you mentioned Chimere Dike and the role that he has. I'm almost more excited for him in the position that he's put into, being a punt returner, kick returner, because if they know what his strongest attribute is the speed. If he shows, Will, that he could be dynamic in that and give this team those hidden, stolen yardage that we don't speak about until you get the ball at the 35 or 37 or the 40-yard line, that's going to make it more appetizing for him to get offensive reps. Guys like him that don't have a necessary wide receiver attachment to his game, he can make hay, man, on being a dynamic return guy and taking care of the ball. That's where his extra reps on offense going to come from.
No, I agree, and I think, too, it's that kind of hidden yardage that really hurt the Titans last year, and they want to flip the script there.
Yeah, man.
Simply put, and Denver thrives in field position. Last season, the Broncos had the second-best average starting field position in the NFL. They were starting drives on their own 32.5-yard line on average, and they had the third-best defensive starting field position, meaning they were pinning teams deep consistently. Teams were starting on their own 27.9-yard line on average, meaning they didn't turn the ball over a ton and give their defense short fields. They ended drives with kicks. a lot last season, and that makes life tough on you on the road at altitude in an intense environment. So you're right, 100%. I think that hidden yardage is a big factor this weekend. It's supposed to be nice in Denver.
I bet.
Low of mid-50s.
What?
On Sunday morning.
What?
I'm going to have to go by the Titans team store and get me a quarter zip
Yeah,
before
man.
the plane goes on Saturday.
That is perfect. I'm talking about that is perfect. Kirby got all kind of advice all kind of tips for you too, just so you know.
Lovely.
Denver, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Wait till you see the snow-capped mountains. It is a sight to see. As a player, as a person that doesn't have to play, you can enjoy what the city is also, and just be in the mix a little bit. It's a cool place to be at.
I would get, this will surprise no one, I would get crazy race anxiety before I would run cross-country races, to where I would just be so nervous, because in our sport, the goal of the sport is to put yourself in as much physical pain as possible and finish as quickly as possible, obviously, and that requires a lot of physical pain. And so you wouldn't get nervous as much about how am I going to do today. You get nervous about, like, how much is this going to suck today? And I would always think to myself, oh, gosh, I got to find a way in my life to be able to go on these trips but just not actually do the sport, because these are so fun, and like that's all I really want to do, and I'm blessed enough to have made a career out of it, to where now I can go on trips and not actually have to be putting my body in harm's way or feel nervous about doing the hard part. No, talking to the microphones is the easy part. We take our job seriously, and we're going to work hard, and the standard is very high at Titans Radio. But as Taylor was telling me a couple weeks ago, Taylor Zarja, we were talking about this, talking to some of the players, like, nah, y'all got the hard job.
Yeah, they do.
Comparatively.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Very thankful. We're very excited.
I was never jealous of a player that didn't play or wasn't inactive, but a part of me was just like, look at this guy. He's on an NFL
There's
roster.
just that moment of weakness.
Yeah.
That moment of weakness when you're thinking about all the different ways that you could be hurting at the end of at the end of a day, where you're like, man,
look at him.
It'd be nice to be a manager today.
He cashed a heavy check this week, went on an NFL trip, it's a paid vacation for some of them dudes, man. And the practice squad ain't that doggone bad when you're on scouts. Don't get me started, man. The dude's just wasting time.
My job on this show is actually to get you started.
Listen, dog, I used to look at him like, you've been a career backup all your life? You had no aspirations to be a starter? You like the wood? Huh? You like sitting on the bench? Never mind. Don't get me started.
I was not built
them
different.
Types. Kirby, them types got me, man.
615-737-1045 is our number. We stream the show live for you on 1045 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch this morning, live from Titans House in Germantown. Coming up, our first installment of the Foster 5 SEC Power Rankings next. Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. What's up? It's Will Bowling. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. If you're looking at some of the totals for this weekend, maybe you think Cam Ward has a big debut. You could take the over at 41.5 points in Denver between the Titans and Broncos. Lines and odds subject to change. Your season starts now. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code THEZONE. That's code THEZONE to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more. Plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9797. 9789. 21 plus, Tennessee only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday ticket/terms. Limited time offer. Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone, live from Titans House here in Germantown. That will be open to the public here in a half hour. 615-737-1045. Come by and see us, 601 Taylor Place here in Germantown. You got food, you've got drinks, there's coffee, there's special guests that are going to stop by throughout the day. The Zone broadcasting here all day for the Titans House block party. No appointment needed to come learn more about new Nissan Stadium, as all existing season ticket holders have had their chance to see it. Now it is open to everyone here in Germantown. Great spots. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, Kirby Allen Kirby, present and accounted for as well. So, Ramon Foster, in our Foster 5 today and throughout the season, we're going to have you rank the top 5 teams in the SEC. Power rankings. How do you want to do this? Because a lot of people have different opinions on power rankings. They'll either put more emphasis on the last game or the last weekend. Are you going based off how good you think the rosters and the teams are, or is this just, nope, what you've put on the field, these are the 5 best teams right now? What was your thought process with this?
My thought process was start them off where they were ranked at, and from there go off the adjustments of how they played and what they looked like too.
So you're not totally just basing it off of what happened this weekend?
That weighs heavy. It absolutely does weigh heavy, and your opponent weighs into that also. It's the way I view it. Now, if it is a situation where I know certain teams have to play non-conference games, and you're playing UTSA or who was it, Florida played this, LIU or Illinois
Tiburon
State.
Sharks from the video game?
You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're playing somebody like that, if you handle them very well, then you get credit for that. But the way I view it is how your results ended, where you were in the rankings, and how you looked.
Okay.
Is that cool?
I like it.
All right, then.
Who you got number 5?
Vols.
I do as well. I'm going to do
them.
this with you, but it is the Foster 5.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it. I got the Vols because of Keith Bullock said we're the 5th best team in the SEC the other day when he tweeted. I thought that was quite hilarious. It wasn't a slight to me. I was just looking like, well, to be quite honest with you, that's pretty doggone good. I thought offensively they had that they had that flare back. I thought they had a little bit of spunk in how they played. I viewed how the defense had sudden change moments throughout the duration of how they played in that football game. Syracuse came in with a lot of questions, so did the Vols, considering they lost their quarterback to start the spring with, or after the spring game. I'll never forget walking down that hill over by the engineer building saying, what? He's gone? So to see Coach Heupel and his staff adjust to that situation to get the absolute best out of this team, I thought was a super unique situation to be in, man. So I got the Vols 5.
I like it. I think Tennessee is 5 as well. I think Tennessee, with what it showed on the offensive line, in the run game, perfectly balanced between the run game and the pass game. I believe it was 247 rushing yards, 248 passing yards. Mm-hmm. Only 1 yard difference in terms of how they rushed and ran. Rushed and ran. Goodwill. Rushed and threw it on Saturday afternoon in Atlanta. No, I agree. I think Joey Aguilar showed us enough to say that Tennessee is right there in the mix. Because I do think, Ramon, there are still 3 top teams in the conference, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and really like 10 are really bunched up and really difficult to separate at the moment. But I agree. I would also have Tennessee number 5.
I would say 5, 6, and 7 are bunched up too. Like, I know what you said, 5 through 10 definitely
I think it's 4 through 10.
You think it's 4? Yeah, I ride with you there. 4 through 10 is 1 week, most definitely, but I'm sure there's going to be people look at me like, you homer, and I'm like, you damn right, is my list.
No, I mean, I think Tennessee, because just it's challenging to really know who a lot of these teams are. When Oklahoma played Illinois State, Ole Miss played Georgia State. You have Vanderbilt playing Charleston Southern. Mm-hmm. You have,
Florida versus LIU.
Against the Tiburon Sharks. Again, if you get that joke, we could be friends. It's just really hard to know what week 1 is. So we're going to look back probably in a month and think, gosh, those week 1 power rankings we did were terrible. But that's just college football in a nutshell.
The challenge of what week 1 was and how I have this ranked is most definitely playing a part into it. Your opponent in week 1, definitely.
Who do you have at number 4? Because I feel like there could be 5 or 6 teams you could feasibly put at number 4.
And I struggled with this one. I'm going to get to it quick. South Carolina.
Okay.
South Carolina versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech impressed me in a lot of different ways. My eyes will be locked on, if I get the opportunity to, Vanderbilt versus Virginia Tech. I want to see what that looks like. Did they get hyped because that was the Beamer Bowl? Is that them all the time? They could have easily won that game, I feel like, 2 or 3 times over the course of the clock hitting zeros. And South Carolina absolutely was relentless on defense. Offensively, Lenore Stellar showed that he is that type of guy. They got playmakers. They finally connected with Nick Harbor in that game, man, and they showed discipline. I don't know. And it's week 1, and we got to see what it looked like on natural grass. I don't know if there's a faster team than what South Carolina displayed this past weekend. Those guys work quick. That is a dangerous team. You had the quarterback from Virginia Tech trying to escape and had an angle. He had an angle, and their linebackers were walking him down so much he had to just throw the ball away. South Carolina, and I could have put Florida here. South Carolina, though, I think trumps them.
I think you could have put South Carolina. I think you could have put Florida. I think you could have put Ole Miss, who put up 63 points against Georgia State, who famously beat Vandy last year.
Yep.
I think you could put Oklahoma, who beat Illinois State 35-3, 392 yards from year 1 starting quarterback John Mateer. 495 yards had been Arbuckle's first game as OC. I think if I was ranking this just who is the best team, irrespective of what they did over the weekend and who they played, I think I'd put Oklahoma 4. But if I'm rewarding the performances of what happened over the weekend, I think I'd probably put Auburn 4. I think Auburn survived a pretty tough test against Baylor on Friday night. I thought Jackson Arnold looked terrific. Now, I don't know how much he can Josh Pate, I'll give credit to this take on his show the other night. I don't know how much he can run that much against SEC defenses because he might die. Obviously, I'm being very sarcastic, but he's going to take some hits if he keeps running that much. But the threat of Jackson Arnold's legs will give Auburn enough single high safety looks to throw it deep to their big 3.
I give it
in Cam Coleman, Horatio Fields, and Eric Singleton. So that was a game that Auburn had to put on film in order to open up what I think could be the full complement of the Auburn offense. And we'll see what happens when teams force Jackson Arnold to throw it. But if you're asking me to rank teams based on how I thought they performed this weekend and where they are right now, I think Oklahoma's the 4th best team in the SEC, but I think Auburn, in terms of a power ranking, had the best weekend other than the top 3 that we'll get to in a minute.
Gotcha.
Who you got number 3?
Number 3 on the list, I knocked them for where they were versus what they did, and I can't completely give them the golden boot out of the club, but I moved them down. Texas.
I am right there with you.
They didn't get blown out.
I've got them 3 as well.
It is week 1. Also, I just got to push back at Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of Texas, real quick. He blamed the media, and he probably has the right to do that. But we spoke offline when Kirby and I were speaking over here. If they had won that game and Arch had looked like a phenom, he wouldn't have mentioned the media in those moments right there. You got either as a coach, and I don't follow Texas's algorithm when it comes down to how Coach Sarkisian does his interviews and his expectation of his players, but don't come back and say, well, you guys did this. No, Coach, you could have said, hey, give us time. You would have lived that life of luxury if Arch Manning had to turn into a dude this past weekend, but it's week 1. I'm moving them down from 1 to 3. It's the way I view that one.
Yeah, we can't be shocked when college football coaches are paranoid and take their anger out on journalists.
I'll be crying from the yacht. Absolutely cannot cry from the yacht on that one.
No, I agree. I think Texas still was in a position to tie the game against the defending national champions in their building late in the 4th quarter. It wasn't pretty. As bad as Arch Manning was, 17 passes completed for 170 yards and a touchdown. Texas outgained Ohio State on the ground 166-77. They still did some good things in this game. If you had told Steve Sarkisian on Monday that he would hold Ohio State to 14 points in their own building, he'd be like, great. So we're 1-0.
Yeah, yep, no doubt.
Obviously, the offense did not hold up their end of the bargain, but we still did get a lot of questions answered about the Texas defensive front, about how they would function against Ohio State in their secondary, the elimination of big explosive plays. Ohio State, just in that building, didn't need a ton on offense to get the job done as well as their defense played and as well as Matt Patricia schemed up stuff that gave Arch Manning trouble. I totally agree with you. Texas deserves to be knocked down a couple rungs, but not off the ladder entirely.
I'm more impressed with Ryan Day in that situation than I am mad about the Texas loss, if that makes sense.
Ryan Day took a lot of criticism
Yes, he
for
did,
the coordinators he hired to replace Chip Kelly and Jim Knowles, and he's done it again. I mean, at this point, Ramon, we got to respect him for what he is. He's a dang good football coach.
I agree.
He is a dang good football coach.
Yes.
Who's number 2 on your SEC power ranking?
This is tough. 2-1 was tough to me.
Okay.
You can never count them out. They just are who they are, and they handle business this past weekend. Georgia's 2. Georgia, to me, handled business the way they were supposed to. They put a blanket up. Kirby Smart shows that, look, when you face an opponent that is less than you, you put yourself in a position to show that your defense is dominant. He's a defensive-minded coach, and he executed that game plan as much as you needed to be. I know the opponent wasn't much, but I told you I'm going off of where they started versus what they did over the weekend. Georgia, being in the position they are at, starting the season off at 5, I think it justifies moving them up to number 2 in the SEC falls to 5.
Georgia was victorious over Marshall, 45-7 in Sanford Stadium on Saturday.
My bad.
3 catches, 95 yards for Zachariah Branch. Remember the name, Ramon. Mm-hmm. Remember the name, Zachariah Branch. Noah Thomas also in the mix. The transfer wide receivers look good.
Yeah.
I have questions about Mike Bobo's offense and it evolving with the times, and we've talked about that a lot with Stephen Godfrey on this show, and we'll continue to, but there's a big one looming next Saturday in Neyland Stadium between Tennessee and Georgia.
It's Marshall, and I understand the opponent. But
new head coach for Marshall, too.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to a good friend of the show, Gerald Harrison's new AD over there, too, now. My niece is running track over there. You cover her, Dior Carney.
Oh, yeah.
She's over there. I got to get her
runner.
hooked up with Gerald. But with that being said, how much do you want Gunnar Stockton running for 73 yards in a game, though, too? Is this going to be a part of the defense and how they keep it dynamic?
I think that's what they want to be.
That's it. Okay.
I think it's pistol sets. I think it's pre-snap motions. I think it's eye candy. And I think it's moving the pocket for their little undersized mobile quarterback to use his legs the same way that Stetson Bennett did.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Georgia is back to what their offense was with Stetson Bennett. Gunnar Stockton's a little bit bigger than that. I mean, he's 6'1", 215. They've got our good friends at Austin Peay, Jeff Ferris, who was on the show yesterday on Saturday. So one more tune-up for them, and then a huge one, like we said, next weekend in Knoxville. I agree. I also have Georgia number 2.
Okay, perfect.
Number 1, then, has got to be the LSU Tigers.
My family. Yes, it is. Man showed improved. A lot was against him. I know a lot of people was praying on his downfall and probably set their bets based upon him not being good in week 1. He nipped that in the bud. He put himself in a position where he let his defense cook. His offense, Garrett Nussmeier, absolutely answered the call. They stole a touchdown from them, if I can be that doggone brash about it. And every phase of the game they answered. Clemson is a really good team. They skyrocketed to me to number 1 based upon the fact that what was Clemson's ranking? 5 going into the 4.
Mm-hmm.
9 beating 4 on the road in Death Valley Junior. Listen, that is a tip of the cap to what LSU is. It wouldn't shock me. I don't think they're going up to, well, heck, they might go up to like 3. It wouldn't shock me if
LSU?
they went up to number 3.
There are a lot of people that
poll.
think they could be 1. They shouldn't. Heather Dinich was on Get Up yesterday saying they should be number 1.
I look at the
Ohio
scale.
State should still be number 1.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. But to me, Ohio State's the number 1 team in the country, and LSU is the number 2 team in the country.
No less than 3 is the way I'm viewing
100%.
LSU at this point. Yes, because Penn State, that was just light work for them this past week.
I agree. I also have LSU number 1. I think LSU proved a lot of their doubters wrong. I think LSU proved it has a defense, and I needed to see it. I needed to see a new offensive line with 4 new starters protect their quarterback against a really good defensive front. I needed to see Garrett Nussmeier with new targets in a really hostile environment.
Yeah.
And I got that check, that box checked. But Blake Baker, Ramon Foster, is a superstar in the coaching ranks.
Yeah.
And Blake Baker is going to be the head coach of a major football program sooner rather than later. He has good enough defensive backs now to play the style of defense that he wants to play. And that's what I really needed to see. Is this finally going to be the snap, the click for the LSU defense to be taken seriously again? The answer was overwhelmingly yes. They are a national title contender. They are an SEC championship contender, obviously. To me right now, Ramon, I think they're the second best team in college football, and I feel like the two at the top have separated themselves from everyone else.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Ohio State, it's LSU, it's everyone else at this point of the college football season. Now, it is very early. Florida played Long Island over the weekend. Oklahoma's going to play Michigan this upcoming weekend. Florida's going to play South Florida on Saturday. We are emphasizing teams that play legitimate opponents over the weekend.
That's what we're doing.
If we're doing a ranking of who do we think the best 5 rosters and overall teams are, this would look different.
Yes.
These are power rankings. These are how do you look today? What do we know about you? How many questions do we have answered today? And so far, yeah, I think both of our lists are valid ones.
Yes. Only discrepancy we had was 4.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
The only difference we had was you had South Carolina 4, I had Auburn 4.
You had Auburn.
I just
I get that, but that Baylor game was big.
The punt, if there's not a penalty on a punt for Virginia Tech, and they get to redo a punt, or they don't have to redo a punt that ends up being returned for a touchdown and makes it a 2-score game, I think we're having a very different conversation about South Carolina.
You there.
Of why didn't they pull away? Why didn't they continue to look as good as they did on script early? I like a lot of what South Carolina did. It feels to me, Ramon, like we're getting a carbon copy of 2010 Auburn in the way they're going to use Lenore Seller's legs. With a lot of the ways Mike Shula is scheming that offense, and I like that. I think the receivers and Nick Harbor, who's kind of just like
Finally
he's just a guy.
Yeah.
He's a receiver, tight end, he's everything. There's a lot to like about the upside of that program. I just needed to see it a little bit more polished and put together than what Auburn did in Waco, where they were, I mean, that's a difficult place to play and a tough defense to see week 1, and they passed that test with flying colors.
They did.
615-737-1045. You can head to the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch if you don't like our list. We'd love to know what you would do instead. If you would put another team in there, 615-737-1045. Our number as we wrap up the first half of the show, live from Titans House in Germantown. A not-so-great injury report from Josh Heupel in Knoxville yesterday that we'll update you on coming up next. Understanding the Nashville real estate market is a big challenge. You need someone who is on your side. You need someone who understands the market, understands Nashville. You need Bernie Gallerani. Don't rely on that national agent that doesn't know you, your neighborhood, or doesn't even care about your goals. There's no one-size-fits-all, but Bernie Gallerani understands that as well. If you're ready to sell your home, start by knowing its true value. Head online to BernieGallerani.com. He is the real estate agent who guarantees to sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. No risk to you. He'll let you out of the contract at any time. The real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. Go online, BernieGallerani.com. Check out the top of the homepage, click on how much is your home really worth. He's going to make it easy. He's going to make this a simple process for you. His cell phone number, 615-428-2644. That's how confident Bernie Gallerani is in Bernie Gallerani Real Estate. He's giving you his personal cell phone number. Head online, BernieGallerani.com, or call him at 615-428-2644.
It's Ramon Foster for All American Pest Control. Good people, man, they are some of the best around. I'll say that. They are the best around, man. You can go to their website at yuckbugs.com, man. But All American Pest Control is a family-owned and proudly local company that's been serving Middle Tennessee for over 60 years. I love and I brag about the fall, but here's what the fall brings, man. Fall pests. The stink bugs that just randomly pop up in your house, like what the heck is going on? Box elder bugs and Asian lady beetles try to invade your home every single fall because they're trying to get in and stay warm. You need to call All American Pest Control, man. Don't wait until they're crawling on your walls, freaking out your kids or wife. Get ahead of that now. They have a Complete Care Max program, too, where you can bundle up mosquito control, pest control, yard treatments, which are very clutch, and termite protection with Centricom. They service you 8 times a year plus a free reservice if pests come back while on the plan. Or you can mix and match to build a protection plan that works for your home. No hidden fees, no pushy sales, just a peace of mind, man. And here's the other part. They're family owned. I've met the owners. I know them. They're very good people, man, and you always want to do business with local. Again, All American Pest Control are the best. You can visit their website at yuckbugs.com. Yes, that's yuckbugs.com. And be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
Are you trapped in a high-rate mortgage, watching your hard-earned money vanish every month? Stop. Right now at Loan Pronto, they are delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years. What's up? It's Will Bowling. Loan Pronto's rate reduction home loan program is a streamlined, low-cost way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. Lock in a fixed rate as low as 4.99% APR and close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. You can skip your next 2 house payments entirely. Don't wait. Rates this low won't last. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no-obligation quote. Loan Pronto is amazing. Imagine lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLS consumeraccess.org. Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. They are locally owned Scooters Coffee in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. If you like the show, if you like us, we hope you support our friends. Scooters Coffee is outstanding. The fall drinks are here. I had a Red Bull infusion on the way to Atlanta over the weekend. The orange velvet Red Bull, terrific. Yeah. Later in the day, sometimes I don't go coffee once it's outside of the morning, Like, I love the caramelicious. I love the French vanilla. I love the pumpkin lattes, the pumpkin caramelicious together. Terrific in the mornings. I usually go bubbles in the afternoon for my caffeine. Just to stomach-wise, just, energy. Like, it hydrates you a little bit more. They got everything for you. Go buy Scooter's Coffee. We love our friends at Scooter's Coffee. They keep us caffeinated and fueled throughout the day and throughout our busy travel weekends as well.
Man, listen, we got to give a shout out to Caroline real quick. Caroline is just first-class service over here. She pointed us in the right direction for coffee. She's bringing out chicken minis for breakfast this morning. Caroline, MVP.
MVP of the day. MVP. This is the kind of service you get if you show up at Titan's house today. These are the very kind, hardworking individuals who will tell you more about new Nissan Stadium. So not just helping us, helping the people.
Absolutely.
601 Taylor Place, where we are today, here in Germantown, wide open to the public. No appointment needed to come learn about new Nissan Stadium.
Absolutely.
And people like Carolina can help you out.
No doubt about it, Will.
A not-so-great injury report, Ramon, yesterday from Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel, as Ricky Gibson Jr. will be out for an extended period of time. The Tennessee CB2, who started the season as CB1, with Tremont McCoy rehabbing a torn ACL back in January, only played 19 snaps before suffering the injury on Saturday. The 19 snaps were solid.
Yeah, they were.
How big of a loss is this for the Tennessee secondary, and how concerned are you, Ramon, about the Tennessee secondary now that's going to have to rely on some more unproven players?
Huge. You mentioned the extended time part of Heupel's comment. I did not like that. I saw him go out, and it's kind of hard to tell what guys' injuries are based upon play, until they get evaluated, whatever his situation is. But the other part of it is you got guys who hadn't played. You got a very important opponent in Georgia coming up really, really soon, and you got guys that got to grow up fast. And in the college world, that's overstated, and almost all sports you say that type of stuff. You got to grow up early. Well, in this situation, there's not much time given for you to grow up when you got to face a team like Georgia who can really siphon you when it comes down to how they play defensively. But they got weapons on the other side of the ball, and it's just like it's being in the wild. It's prey. I'm going to prey on who I think the weakest link is, and Tennessee's got a lot of young guys that got to step up in these situations. Namely, Georgia native Ty Redmond.
Ty Redmond was terrific.
He was good
on Saturday. Really good. He's got to keep doing it. Got to keep proving that that's not a one-off. But Pro Football Focus ranked Ty Redmond as the highest-rated Tennessee player on defense, not named Colton Hood, on Saturday. Those two I feel good about.
I do.
Now, if one of them goes down, then we're having a different conversation at corner. But obviously you had the flexibility to move Jalen McMurray around if and when Boo Carter gets back in the lineup. We'll talk with Austin Price of AllQuest about this, who's going to join us at 8:20. But I think the concern about Tennessee's defense, Ramon, is more on the defensive front than it is the back end.
I would agree.
Jackson Moy is going to be out for the Vols home opener on Saturday against ETSU. No timetable for him yet either. Not an overall positive update. Upper body injury, just 3 plays into Tennessee's season-opening win, 45-26 against Syracuse. He did not return. Tennessee is already without David Hobbs. Now Jackson Moy is out on Saturday. JUCO transfer Jamal Wallace played 22 snaps. Ethan Utley played 13 snaps on Saturday, the true freshman from here in Nashville at Innsworth. Dominic Bailey can slide inside. Ramon, the challenge now is that you're getting a less efficient Bryson Eason because he played 61 snaps on Saturday, and you don't get the best version of Bryson Eason when you throw him out there 61 times.
No.
And against tempo, the way Syracuse tried to hurry up and get those big guys tired and unable to be subbed out. It's a worry right now for Tennessee defensively.
It is, but I would also say this, too. This is where a guy like Bryson Eason, that has been known as grandpa of the team, evaluate himself and adjust. Big Unc. That's what he is. That's what they calling me now these days, man. But Unc, like, he should understand these situations where I'm at. I'm with you. Like, the better version of him is probably 32 snaps a game. You know what I'm saying? To where he can be strategic in how he goes about setting himself up for success over the course of the game. But these type of situations, they show up. And this is where he's got to submit himself to the cause of saying, well, screw it, I got to go. Save me during the course of the week and let me be my best on Saturdays. This is a good tester for him going up against ETSU this upcoming weekend, who also, I would say this, watching some of their tape last night, they run an offense with a pace too. Seeing how much negativity he can create for a team like them, man, it's growing up is what it is. Everybody got something dirty about their job, and this is where he's got to get in the filth and get dirty.
ETSU in Tennessee, of course, right here on the Zone on Saturday afternoon. Their quarterback situation is a really interesting one.
It's a good one.
Because they have Cade McNamara as their quarterback.
Former Michigan player.
And Iowa.
Yeah.
And Cade McNamara. And then Jacoby Criswell, who is a big old quarterback and a
runner.
Big body and a runner at 6'1", 230. Former North Carolina quarterback. Some names that you may have heard. And Ramon Foster and Mike Keith will have the call from the Neyland Stadium broadcast booth.
Yeah, and
for the first time on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I can't wait to see them drop the flag down with Vol Network right there. I think that's super cool, man, on game day. Fun time. Hopefully, need to pack it out this upcoming weekend and handle business, man.
Live from Titans House on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee as we head to halftime of the show. Why doesn't Bo Nix take a lot of sacks? Jeffrey Simmons gave his thoughts on that you'll hear next.
Guys, you already know Synergex and Low T Center have been changing lives of men across the country for over decades. Testosterone replacement therapy has helped men get their energy back, regain confidence, save their marriages, and help overcome symptoms associated with depression. Guys, I'm telling you, go get yourselves checked out. That feeling you feel probably has a reason behind it is what I'm telling you, and Low T Center can help you with that. But did you also know that women with hormonal imbalances experience many of the same symptoms of men with low testosterone? And guys, you know how frustrating that can be. For the first time ever, though, Low T Center is now offering hormone replacement therapy for women. Low T doesn't just affect guys. In fact, testosterone can benefit women as well. Other treatment options are available to help women balance their hormones and bring back balance to their life. With in-center and at-home treatment options available for women, find out which one is right for you. All types of situations, too, can help you out. Ladies, you can go to the center, get a test that includes a full hormone panel and further analysis to treat the whole patient. Again, get back to a better you. Treat yourself. Understand what's going on inside of your body. Also, to book an appointment, head over to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. And be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
It is 8:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. It's game week, and the Tennessee Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as preparations for the Denver Broncos officially are full go. Head coach Brian Callahan spoke to the media yesterday ahead of practice and talked about Cam Ward being ready for his first NFL game. But also, JC Latham returned to practice, and Tavondre Sweat, Khalil Mullings, Kevin Winston Jr., Ladarius Sneed, and Lloyd Cushenberry were all full go in practice yesterday. In college football last night, TCU dominates North Carolina and head coach Bill Belichick's collegiate debut, 48-14. That includes 2 defensive touchdowns and a 75-yard touchdown run as well for the Horned Frogs. In Tennessee Vols news, head coach Josh Heupel told the media that the Vols will be without another starting cornerback in junior Ricky Gibson III for an extended period of time, but there is no exact timeline for his return. The Vols are already missing star defensive back Jamar McCoy, who's still working his way back from ACL tear suffered last season, and also senior defensive lineman Jackson Moy suffered an upper body injury in Saturday's win over Syracuse, and he will miss at least this Saturday's home opener against East Tennessee State. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, hour 3, live from Titans House in Germantown. Ramon and Will is fueled by Scooter's Coffee. Locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. The weather is 68 degrees. The sun is shining. We've got a model new Nissan Stadium with us. We've got a newly engaged Robert Walsh who's entered the premises.
Yeah.
Kirby Allen Kirby, Eki Bob, Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Justin Hawkins holding it down back in Midtown. And Ramon, we've got a loaded lineup coming up over the next hour and a half.
We do. I can't wait till that temperature go up 1 more degree. Boy, it's going to be beautiful.
We've got VolQuest's Austin Price coming up at 8:20 this morning. JC Latham going to sit down in the program coming up at 9 o'clock here in person. And Bryant McFadden of CBS Sports, former Florida State and Pittsburgh Steeler defensive back, who was in the Florida State locker room after FSU's upset win over Alabama over the weekend. We'll talk with him coming up in a little over an hour. But they are open for business here at Titans House, 601 Taylor Place. For the first time ever, Titans House is open to the public. No appointment required. We've got T-Rack hanging out with us, coming by and saying hello.
Yeah.
We have got a ton of people here who are ready to help guide you through the new Nissan Stadium experience. There's food, there's drinks, there's going to be special guests throughout the day, free entrance, free parking. If you can't make it, you can head online to newnissanstadium.com to book your appointment to visit Titans House. But Ramon, there is quite a crew here ready to help the people out today.
Man, I'm telling you, y'all better get in here, man, and get some good business going on, some good people in here, ready to just show you around. Look, you can come in and just look at the idea of what it could be if you were sitting inside of the stadium. That's the other part of it, too.
The virtual experience of how you're literally going to be able to see the view and where your seat would be from the Nissan Stadium. A lot of pricing options, a lot of different ways you can get in the new building. I know many of you have already done that if you're existing season ticket holders, but now it is open to the people, so we're excited.
Yes, we are excited, man. It's good being out of the building. The house cats become wildcats for a little while, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing us do more of these type things.
VolQuest Sauce and Price will stop by in 15 minutes from Knoxville. We'll get his thoughts on Tennessee's long laundry list of injuries and when some of those guys can be expected back. But, Ramon, yesterday in the open locker room at Titans practice, Jeffrey Simmons, I thought, had an interesting comment when asked about why Bo Nix doesn't take a lot of sacks. Titans defensive tackle and captain Jeffrey Simmons had this to say.
The reason why he don't take a lot of sacks because he take off running with the football. He don't get sacked a lot. You give him the A and B gap. If his first read not there, he taking off running. So that's the reason why he don't take many sacks because he's not just sitting in the pocket and trying to read coverage. I would say We take that first read off, which I know our DBs, our linebackers, they're going to do a hell of a job on the back end, especially when it's time for them to throw the ball. We got to make sure, and that's what we talked about, being on the same plan, same rush plans, being on the same page up front. We have to make sure that, we don't give him no escape lanes because, like I said, that's the reason why he don't have many sacks. And the reason why he don't have many mistakes, he's a young quarterback that they want to establish a run game as well. They want us to come out and be able to try to run the ball on teams, and, which they did pretty effectively. So we got to be ready for that. We got to be able to stop the run and stop the quarterback run game.
That was Titans captain Jeffrey Simmons speaking to the media yesterday. Bo Nix is a game manager in the polite sense of the term.
Yeah.
Ramon, and he does not make a lot of big mistakes, does he?
No, he does not. He's been trained up well. He's been coached well. Also comes from a system last couple of years out of Oregon, man, that allowed him to be flexible in that world of being able to use his legs, man. I think he's about to walk out of the building, so I give him credit right now. But I do think the incorporation of and I know it was players before him, but I think Lamar Jackson showing that you can have it both ways as far as a running quarterback and also have a guy that's a threat in the pass too, or vice versa, is where the element to me of having the 11th playmaker on the field is where a lot of teams are. If you have a quarterback and he's not mobile, I feel like you're somewhat behind the 8 ball on how you can operate as an offense. You hear Jeffrey Simmons speak about that. Like, he knows when to run. He knows when to tuck it in and let the ball fly down the air. You look at the course of his career. He played 5 years, man. He accumulated over 1,600 yards with his legs in college. He's a guy that is a threat, and as you can hear Jeff speak on it, it creates anxiety to them up front and the linebacker core if they don't have eyes on him with his escapability.
Bo Nix last season rushed 92 times for 430 yards.
Take it.
I would not have, if you had had me guess how many rushing yards did Bo Nix have last season, I wouldn't have got anywhere close to 430
I wouldn't have
yards.
either.
No. Like, that is a significant amount. 92 carries is a significant amount of time bailing out of the pocket and finding ways to get something out of nothing. Bo Nix was only sacked 24 times last year. He is the type of quarterback, Ramon, that benefits his offensive line and the way he uses his legs versus, I think, the way Patrick Mahomes early in his career
I agree.
was a detriment to his offensive line in the way he used his legs. This was from Next Gen Stats yesterday. I thought this was crazy. Talking about the Denver Broncos offensive line. Their first 5, Ramon, first of all, from week 10 on, played 97% of the snaps last season.
Wow.
They had a remarkable amount of continuity. The main 5 on the Denver Broncos offensive line, Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, Quinn Miners, and Mike McGlinchey. That 5 was on the field for 55.2% of team snaps together last season. That was the 10th highest of any offensive line grouping. Mm-hmm. From week 10 on, there was a remarkable amount of consistency. So that's the first thing. These guys are good, and they weren't hurt.
You said from week 10 on?
From week 10 onward, their first 5 offensive line played 97% of the snaps.
What also happened because of that? That's when Bo Nix got his legs underneath him, too.
Well, and they started to put more on his plate because Bo Nix was throwing a lot of passes at or behind the line of scrimmage. It was a lot of screens. It was a lot of single reads. It's a lot of half-field stuff. Bo Nix last season targeted receivers behind the line of scrimmage on 26% of his total attempts. That was the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. But that changed a little bit as the season went. They started to allow him to find Cortland Sutton, who had a career-high 81 catches last year down the field, and Marvin Mims, and the second-year player Troy Franklin, who I think is ready for a big jump in Denver this year. But here's the thing that's really impressive about Denver. Every member of their primary offensive line allowed a pressure rate within the top 5 at their position in the NFL. So left tackle to right tackle, all 5 of them were top 5 of all of the players at that position in terms of the amount of pressure they were giving up. Garrett Bowles had the lowest pressure rate at left tackle in the NFL according to Next Gen Stats. Ben Powers, Luke Wattenberg, best pressure rate at center in the NFL. Quinn Miners, best right guard pressure rate in the NFL. And then Mike McGlinchey really took a step forward in year 3 of that 5-year deal that he signed in 2023 at right tackle last year after leaving San Francisco. That's why Bo Nix doesn't get sacked.
He
knows when to run, and he's got a remarkable amount of consistency on his offensive line.
This is Sean Payton Saints 2.0 to me. This is where he had guys like Jari Evans on that offensive line who was I looked up to. Like, there are certain guys I looked up to. He was one of those players that you said on the interior side of the offensive line, that's where they ate at. That's also how you allow development of your quarterback to extend itself out too, where you can give them time and make them comfortable and let them grow in ways that some teams don't put an emphasis on those types of things, man. So, Will, hearing that is the recipe. If you want a successful quarterback in almost any league, you got to start up front with those dudes, man, because as dynamic as any quarterback can be, if you ain't got time to actually show it, what the heck are you doing as a squad? It's almost flagrant at that point, man. Sean Payton's been here before. That's why Denver did what they could to go get a guy like him, and that's why he has so much of a love affair for Bo Nix coming out. He understood what Bo was capable of. Drew Brees, I don't think, was a mobile guy like that, but what did he end up doing towards the latter part of Drew Brees' career? He ended up going to a mobile quarterback. What's the guy's name at linebacker?
Taysom Hill.
Taysom. He likes that.
The highest paid punt protector in football.
Now he got that in Bo Nix. Not saying he runs like him, but the threat of him running is there.
615-737-1045, live from Titans House in Germantown, where you can come learn more about new Nissan Stadium. No appointment required. We are here all day at 1045 The Zone. Free parking and free admission to take a look. When we come back, though, we shift gears back to the Big Orange. VolQuest's Austin Price, the latest out of Knoxville, coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Man, I got some good news yesterday. I received a text message that said they were coming out to my house at said time that they are today. Yes, man, that's just one of the best things you get with Hiller, man, is you'll receive a text and a photo of the tech that is coming to your house and a link to track them in real time, so you're not sitting around wasting any time at all, man. But if you have a plumbing, heating, and cooling or electrical emergency, they are the company to call, man. One, their techs are very professional, experienced, and trustworthy, and they're all background checked and drug screened, too. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and are family-owned and operated, and they're just good. I also say that. And it's because they have 100% satisfaction of a happy you'll be or the service is free. If something is done and you don't like it or it's not fixed properly, they'll give you your money back or make sure they do all the necessary things that makes you satisfied as a customer, man. Best part is the price you're told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises when you book with Hiller. To learn more about them or book with them like I do, simply visit happyhiller.com.
For the first time in the 2025 football season, the glass has broken, and we have got a football game to recap with our good friend Austin Price here on Ramon and Will. We are fueled by Scooters Coffee, live from Titans House in Germantown, as the Tennessee Titans have opened up this beautiful facility to the public. You can come by 601 Taylor Place to learn more about new Nissan Stadium. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, joined by VolQuest's Austin Price. Austin, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you all?
We are good. Good to be out amongst the people. Good to be recapping a weekend of games. And good to see a deep ball be completed, Austin Price. I think that's where a lot of Tennessee fans are still most excited from the weekend. What was your initial takeaway and initial thoughts on Game 1 for QB1 Joey Aguilar?
Kind of like my thoughts for the overall team, Will. I mean, really solid opening salvo for this team. So many times game number one is sloppy and just kind of a feeling out process. And I'm not going to say Tennessee played perfect. They did not. But, you know, they were really, really solid. And Joey Aguilar was the leader in that. He was just very efficient. Obviously, the deep ball was a thing for Tennessee fans. But it was his ability to be crafty and kind of have some moxie to him when plays broke down, to be able to move around and either throw the ball away or put the ball where your guy can get it only, like the touchdown catch or touchdown pass to Star Thomas. I thought he was really, really efficient. And all the talk all offseason, Will, about the interceptions and how many he had thrown at Appalachian State, I questioned would the wide splits and Tennessee's ability to run the ball help him. At least in game one, it did. I never felt like he put the ball in harm's way, and they threw a lot of routes that maybe they didn't throw a year ago or even 2 years ago across the middle of the field, and I think that's a good sign.
VolQuest's Austin Price with us. Austin, you have been adamant, and so has Ramon, about this offensive line could be better than it was last year. Game one, check mark. Flying colors, pancakes from Lance Hurd at left tackle, and even with David Sanders, who we're going to talk about not being there at right tackle, even with the late change, Austin, just how impressed were you with that five and their ability to look like an improved unit from at least this time last year?
They looked the part. Now they've played the part, and they did so with your contingency plan offensive line. This was not your starting offensive line. This was, oh no, we've had somebody miss, so we've had to shuffle things around, and it still went really well against a Power 4 opponent in Syracuse. I think that has to give Glenn Ellerbe, Josh Heupel, Joey Halsley, fans, the offensive line, just a shot of confidence. I mean, I think this was already a confident group. You're right. I've been really bullish all offseason that they were going to be really good. I remember going on, Cole Kubelik and Greg McElroy's show down in Birmingham, and when they brought the offensive line and I talked about how much better that I thought they would be, they were flabbergasted. And I'm like, you look at, the guys Tennessee had a year ago, outside of Cooper, do you miss any particular one of them? And again, Pendleton was very efficient on Saturday himself. I think they've had an upgrade at most of those positions, and you feel like that this is an offensive line that, given time, giving a maturing process, a development process, can only go up from here. You like where they're at right now. They're going to get better. The more games they play together, the more games they play individually, they're going to get better. And that should be a really good sign for this team and really probably scary for everybody else.
Austin, with that being said, too, however it unfolded Saturday morning with David Sanders, man, the adjustment of him, has there been more information about the why, or is his availability going into this ETSU game this upcoming weekend?
I expect him to play this weekend. Obviously, they'll continue to evaluate him. He got a little bit of a stinger last week, middle week of practice. I think the strength staff didn't, or the medical staff did not like where his strength level was, on Saturday morning, because he was planning on playing Friday night. When Coach Heupel talked about how it hit him like a ton of bricks and all that stuff, not being able to play, I think that's very accurate. I don't think he anticipated not playing. And again, this was your contingency plan. You shifted out Jesse Perry to right tackle. He had a really good game after preparing all offseason at right guard. Wendell Moy switches from left guard to right guard, and Sham Umarov comes in at left guard, and Tennessee played really, really well. I expect David Sanders to play this week. I would be shocked if he doesn't. And he needs to play because you don't want his first action to be a week from now against Georgia. You'd like to knock the rust off this week. I think if the game, honestly, might even have been Sunday, he might have been able to play. I think it just happened to be that Saturday he was a no-go.
No doubt about it. We're joined by Austin Price of VolQuest this morning. Austin, the skill guys, man, were very complimentary to Joey Aguilar this weekend, man. Braylon Staley, Chris Brazel, who could have knocked his head off the goalpost if he'd have caught that slant, man. And I'll even say, I know he only had 29 yards on the game, but Mike Matthews being a part of that also. I got a feeling they will find ways to make sure he gets him more, considering the role we expect him to play this season. But what did you think of that group and their friendliness to Joey Aguilar this past weekend against Syracuse?
I think Joey throws a really catchable ball, which I think helps. I think they're very comfortable with Joey Aguilar, and I think there's a real camaraderie there. Even though Joey's only been on campus for 3 months, I think he kind of hit the ground running, just put his head down, went to work. Those guys got in there, and they not only threw with him, they threw with Merklinger and George as well, and I think that there's a real comfort level there. But, again, I think the biggest thing is he throws a really catchable ball, which, helps receivers out. I agree. I think I expect Mike Matthews to have a pretty big game Saturday. I really do. I think there's a motivation there. His people that talk about him out there, I think that drives him. So I expect him to really bounce Saturday. I really do. And we'll see if that comes to fruition. But either way, you like that there was some positive momentum. I love what Braylon Staley did. I like what Chris Brazel did coming off the injury. He did have the one terrible drop that catch that ball with your hands, not your chest. But I think you have to like it. I think you'll see a lot more runs Saturday for a guy like Travis Smith, and I think Darius Jackson will actually get in the game this week on offense.
And also, looking at this past week, I'm not even mad at the Mike Matthews game that he had against Syracuse. What I was impressed by was his ability and Braylon Staley's and everybody else, Ethan Davis's ability to block in the passing game or in the run game. I wanted to state that, but also say this, too. When you look at what this offense looked like, there were slants, there were comebacks, there were post routes. The variations in which it looked like Heupel adjusted with this offensive screen game outside and the angles that this offense was allowed to play with. Did you notice that also yourself, the ability of Heupel to add branches to this offense?
Yeah, like we talked about a little bit earlier, they threw different routes. They threw more across the middle. That opening play was a play that you hadn't seen. They run a lot more drags on Saturday. I thought the offense had some different wrinkles to it. They actually threw the ball to the backside of the backfield a little bit, which it was a nice change of pace. They've not done that a whole lot, and I think that can help a guy like Joey Aguilar out as well. But yes, the receivers, I thought they did a nice job of blocking down the field, continuing to push through. Because let's face it, none of them are Brew McCoy or Jawan Jennings when it comes to blocking that dynamic of the game. So, the more they can kind of buy into it and see the success that running backs have from it, the better.
Austin Price of VolQuest on 3, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. Austin, yesterday Josh Heupel says that Ricky Gibson will be out for an extended period of time. He went ahead and ruled out Jackson Moy for this weekend against ETSU. What's the latest on those two, and how long do you foresee Gibson being out and Ty Redmond having to step into his spot?
Well, I think at this point the question is when do you get Jermon McCoy back? Jermon McCoy is going to return before Ricky Gibson does. So I think all eyes shift to McCoy. We'll see on Gibson. There's a lot of different chatter out there, but I think there's some chatter out there that he could be back later in the year. We'll see. And then Jackson Moy, I think it just boils down to how much, what's his pain tolerance? How much can he go? Obviously not going to play this week, but is one that, you watch week to week at this point and kind of, see what happens. But I know for a fact he was in the complex yesterday pushing on a sled, which is a good sign. You wouldn't be out for any kind of lengthy stretch of time, like I'm talking 6 weeks, if you're and be pushing on a sled. He's trying to figure out how much he can do and what he can't do. Obviously a no-go this week. We'll see what happens as far as next week goes. But Tennessee's got to figure out some contingency plans in the defensive interior because they're not really deep there, and they've got to figure out how to get some of these younger kids to come along. Isaiah Campbell, Ethan Utley, Jamal Wallace is a JUCO kid. Got to keep Nathan Robinson healthy and upright because he showed what he can do when he gets in the game Saturday with how disruptive he was. So they've got to figure out the defensive interior and go from there.
Austin, with the way Syracuse was able to extend drives and completing a few 3rd and 10s, obviously 3 and 4 on 4th down as well, how concerning was the overall defensive effort to you, and why do you think Syracuse had the success that it did moving the football, especially in that 3rd quarter?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned. Most teams aren't going to play it like you play PlayStation. Go for it on 4th down. I don't mean go for it on 4th and 1 or 2 on the plus side of the 50. Like, a lot of teams do that. Tennessee does that. But, like, going for it on 4th and 10, 4th and 8, those type things, most teams aren't going to do that. And so, against most teams, you would have got off the field more. If Tennessee can get off the field, this game easily probably turns into 52-13 instead of 45-26. This game was so close to being a bludgeoning, but it wasn't. Tennessee won comfortably, but it was so close to being a rout. So Tennessee's defense got to figure some things out again. It's about getting healthy on the defensive side of the ball. So it's a little concerning just because they're not healthy, but it's not super concerning to this point as far as the defense goes.
When you look at this upcoming week, Austin, is this a week where you find your depth? I'm not going to minimize ETSU. They won big this past weekend. But in these type of situations where you're playing a lesser opponent, is this where you find where those guys can play? Well, you mentioned Bryson Eason. Is he going to play more up the middle? When you speak about guys like Dominic Bailey, how you adjust to the, I don't want to call it the lack of depth, it could be the lack of experience of the interior of this defensive line, because I can look forward because I'm in the media now, but Georgia's coming to town next week, and you got to have some type of preparation for what you plan on doing against them.
That's right, Rowan. You do have to figure out kind of where you're going. And if you'd been to Johnson City before and went to Pals, you wouldn't minimize ETSU either. But I will tell you, this is a week where you push all those kids to the field. And then you have some, like a Nathan Robinson is a perfect example. Really needs the work, but he's got the little bit of a tweaked ankle. So, like, how does Rodney Garner tightrope that? How do you tightrope the Grand Canyon of we need him healthy a week from now, but he honestly needs the reps? Well, how do you weigh it? It's easy to say, well, just hold him. But, like, a guy like an old school coach like Rodney Garner may think he needs to continue to play and continue to see success, but we got to keep him healthy. So it's a fine line, and so I think you're going to see a lot of young kids. Obviously, Moy's already rolled out, Gibson's out. But I mean, anybody else that's just a little bit iffy, I'm probably not playing them. I would also tell you that like somebody like Colton Hood is going to play like a quarter, and then he's getting out. Like you can't run the risk of what happened with Cedric Tillman back in 2021 or was it 2022 when he got injured playing the Akron, late in the 4th quarter. Like he didn't need to be in the game. Like get in, get out, let the young kids do their thing. This should be a game for DeJuan Morris, Radarius Jackson, Joakim Dodson. All those players should really be feasting this weekend and getting a chance to get some real run.
No doubt. Austin, man, I don't condone stealing, or thieves at all, unless it's against an SEC opponent like Auburn. Tennessee flipped Hezekiah Harris yesterday, man, a top 100 edge player, man. How did this come about, this decision with the Vols recruiting right now, man? It's been fire hot this month of August. How do you compartmentalize what they've been doing as of late?
Been doing a tremendous job. A lot of this is months in the making. Yesterday, Hezekiah Harris, Coach Shop's been working on him for months and months and months. And the truth is, Auburn has his brother on the roster down there. A transfer from Austin Peay. They brought him in this past cycle. I'm not sure the brother's just over the moon with Auburn. So, we'll see what happens with him going forward. Either way, Hezekiah felt like Tennessee's the best fit for him. You'll have to continue to recruit him, try to hold on to him come December, but you'd rather have him and have to hold on to him than be playing catch up and chasing the whole time. So Tennessee gets that one done. Kamari Blair always wanted to go to Tennessee. That was a last-minute ploy by South Carolina that got him to commit. And then the more he kind of just looked at it, was like, yeah, I want to go to Tennessee. And he flipped. And then similar situation with Tristan Geese. I mean, Tennessee just continued to work there. Kelsey Pope put his head down when he committed to LSU several months ago, and Dever really was fazed by it, didn't blink, and it paid off last Thursday with the biggest flip of all. So Tennessee's on a little bit of a recruiting flip heater, you could say, and I don't see anybody else on the on the cusp of flipping. So I think this probably ends a little bit of a flip run they're on. But Tennessee will have plenty of players that they either have to hold on to in their own class, or that they have senior eval tape and they're like, hey, I really like this interior defensive lineman that's committed to school X. Let's go try to flip him or whatever.
He is Austin Price of VolQuest and On 3, joining us Tuesdays at 8:20 here on the show. VolQuest.com, a must-have subscription if you are a Vols fan. And the On 3 network is just adding 5-star reporters and national writers left and right as well. So you get them, too, with that membership. Austin, great stuff as always. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Austin Price with us this morning, telling us, Ramon, that he would be shocked if David Sanders does not make his Tennessee debut on Saturday.
He needs it. He needs it in the worst way, man. You can't have your first college start be against Georgia.
That would not be ideal.
No, it would not, man. But the best thing for him is it's a home game. You got the crowd at your side, on your side. And you look for guys like him that's playing to the left or right of him with the tight ends to uplift him too. He got to get his feet wet, man. And just a little shocked of what happened this past weekend, but life goes on. They adjusted as a team, and that was more beautiful than almost anything else that happened this weekend.
615-737-1045. How you jump in live from the Titans House block party all day here on 104.5 The Zone. They are open. There are fans here making their way in and taking a look at new Nissan Stadium. You've got a ton of people here from the team and organization ready to help you get a look at potential tickets and options for the new building. 601 Taylor Place in Germantown is where we are. They got coffee for the people. They got food. And they have got a great staff ready to help walk you through all of this process. Open to the public. No appointment required. And coming up in 20 minutes, Titans tackle JC Latham is going to sit down with us here at the table. We'll catch you up on some NFL headlines, wrap up hour number 3 of Ramon and Will coming up next.
What's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? I'll tell you, settling for less cash. That never happens, though, with Orchard. Disappointing offers, man, it can simply wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle, though, when you sell with Orchard. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale and helping you sell on the market for top dollar. First of all, Orchard gives you cash up front, yes, so you can buy and move into your new home. Then it's on your timeline, no waiting, no showings, no double moves. And once you're all settled in, your Orchard agent helps you sell your home on the market for that top dollar I was just speaking of. One Orchard customer had this to say: I never could have sold without Orchard. I made way more than I expected, and it couldn't have been any easier. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious on how much your home is worth? Simply visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. Again, the website is Orchard.com.
Hey, it's Will Bowling. By now, you have probably heard about my new obsession, Daisy French onion dip. One of my guilty pleasures during football season is eating dips with chips, wings, and veggies while watching the big game. It takes the flavor to another level. It is a must-have this time of year during football season. And I'm here to tell you guys, these are as delicious as a homemade dip. They're made with real herbs and spices, plus other ingredients you'd find in your own kitchen. Daisy's delicious Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip are a game changer. Head to your local grocery store, wherever you load up for the week. Make sure you get some. You can put it in a nondescript container. You can bring it to the tailgate, to the watch party. People are going to think you're showing up with something you made in your own kitchen. Check it out, Daisy French onion dip. Look for it at a grocery store near you.
Work It's what we do, part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee, a 104.5 The Zone. Wrap it up hour 3. Coming up in 15 minutes, Tennessee Titans right tackle JC Latham will join us. Ramon Foster, Will Bowling, live from Titans House in Germantown. Ramon, some NFL history is going to be made on Sunday.
What are we talking about,
A clone is going to start an NFL football game for the first time.
A clone? Tom Brady?
Matthew Stafford will start week 1, according to Los Angeles Rams head coach Sean McVay. Clearly, your screen time is lower than mine because there has been a running joke on Twitter that
haven't seen
Matthew
that one.
Stafford has been cloned, and this is a different version of himself.
What?
That is going to be playing. That's why they had the hyperbolic chamber stuff, and they regenerated him, and he passed away and is now back in a new form. Just let me be a sci-fi nerd for 5 minutes.
Listen.
17th NFL season for Stafford, who has had back injuries that he's dealt with throughout training camp. He is back in time, and that's significant because he's coming to town with the Rams in week 2.
Yeah, man. Well, that's that. You remember when you asked me how real does it get this week? That's also the other part. I've seen, I laugh because I got one guy in particular in mind, but I've seen guys dog out the preseason, not practice. They got a soft tissue here. They're not feeling good right now. They're already not going to play in the preseason games, but Week 1 shows up, them dudes are good to go, man. Like, when the season kicks off, that's when they get real for those types of guys. And the sacrifice of putting your body out for the betterment of the team and also just for your competitive side, too, nothing's going to stop that. I mean, I don't think there was ever any idea or inkling or thought that he was going to sit out Week 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I think backs are so finicky and tricky that I think there was a little bit of doubt.
Well, if he gets hit, that's when it's going to get more real. But to think that he was going to start the season off on IR, not start the season off as an opening day starter, I didn't see that being the case. I've just seen this old trick be done time and time again when it comes down to how guys get their minds right for the beginning, for Week 1.
One thing that was interesting coming out of Denver Broncos media availability yesterday, Ramon, is Sean Payton talking about how to watch film on Cam Ward. Telling reporters yesterday you have a limited exposure in the preseason with him. Says then you would go back and look at his college tape at Miami to get a feel for not only arm strength, but how does he handle pressure? How does he handle his own? We do a pretty in-depth study. That's interesting to me that with the lack of film Denver has on Cam, they're going back to look at Miami film to get ready for the Titans on Sunday.
That's how it goes. I told you, for the rookies that I've faced before or young quarterbacks, I never forget when Baker Mayfield came into the AFC North. Like, those are the things that we watched. We watched those guys' college tape because Coach Brian Callahan has said it too. They're going to try to formulate as much as they can of what Miami did into this Tennessee Titans offense. These are the things that you hear, of course, be broadcasted by reporters, and coaches follow that. I distinctly remember, coaches' secretaries having a daily pamphlet of the things that was said about opposing teams. They put it on the coach's front desk. They read and see these types of things. All information is good information, and it's smart of them to evaluate his college tendencies. More than anything, like, they're not going to know the game plan of what the Titans are going to do, but they will say tendencies and what he likes to do at Miami and try to attack those types of things. Like I said, what you're watching for is his arm slide if I'm a defensive lineman. How quick does he get rid of the ball? Does he have a pat and throw when he releases the ball out of his hand if I'm a DB? Those are the things that you're looking at until you get that Week 1 tape the following week.
Coach Mack would call that matching hands and directional delivery.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
RJ is called in with a shout-out this morning, 615-737-1045.
RJ's school has started
What's
over in
up,
West
RJ?
Nashville.
Ramon roster, man. What is going on, sir?
What's going on, man?
Great job on the call Saturday, man. I was looking at it on my streaming app, so I was getting to play a little bit early. So I was getting to play. I was hyped, and then I was waiting on you to call it, man. I was getting hyped again, man. It was like you was back at UT on that O-line, leading me through the hole, man. You was leading me through the play, hyping me up. It wasn't really biased. It was right. Great job, man. Great job.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate
Aguilar
it.
looked good. He was a little high a couple times. Called runs for him, surprised me. Didn't know they was going to run him as much as they did. Didn't know he could run as good as he did. He did as good as Nico would have did, man. Nico would have been high. Them same passes, he would have missed high, them same passes. So if he get the ball down, I think he'd be all right. But, man, I called to tell you, great job, man. Great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, RJ. Appreciate the call.
Speaking of RJ, my son, we nicknamed him RJ. He's Ramon Jr. too. Let me pause for a second and give him a very happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, RJ.
I got a friggin' 17-year-old. Well, me and my wife have a 17-year-old right now. What's unique about this birthday is exactly 17 years ago on a Tuesday is when he was born, after we flew back from UCLA to play a Monday night Labor Day game.
Wow.
The exact same setting.
Nice.
I was in the air right now flying back from UCLA as he was born today, man. So happy birthday to my oldest. Proud of you, kid. Love you, kid, man. Keep being who you are, man. Makes he and his brother.
I love it.
And all my my extra kids that I have, my nephews and nieces and stuff like that. I ain't got no extra kids, okay, DNA-wise. Hold up now,
Wait a
player.
minute.
Keisha gonna text, what
Hold
you
on a
mean
minute,
extra
player.
kids? No, we good in that department. Curve,
Happy
we good
birthday,
over
RJ.
there. Happy birthday, RJ.
Happy birthday, RJ, and thank you to our caller, RJ, for calling in
Absolutely.
to say ha.
Yes, RJ. Thank you, man.
Coming up next, Tennessee Titans tackle JC Latham joins us after this. Game on. Week 1 starts now, and every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Hey, what's going on? It's Will Bowling. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $300 of bonus bets instantly. Plus, grab over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Your season starts now. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEZONE. That's code THEZONE, THEZONE, to get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first bet of $5 or more, plus over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789. 21 plus, Tennessee only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
It is 8:58. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. It's game week, and the Tennessee Titans returned to the practice field yesterday as preparations for the Denver Broncos on Sunday are officially a full go. Titans defensive coordinator Denard Wilson, offensive coordinator Nick Holtz, and special teams coordinator John Bones Fossil will meet with the media today, coming up around 11 a.m. this morning. In college football last night, TCU dominated North Carolina head coach Bill Belichick's collegiate coaching debut 48-14. That included 2 defensive touchdowns and a 75-yard touchdown run as well for the Horned Frogs to get that Week 1 win. Tennessee Titans right tackle JC Latham, who returned to practice yesterday, is about to sit down with Ramon and Will now at the Titans house, so that's where we'll go. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will is fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone into the fourth and final hour on this Tuesday morning. Live from Titans House at 601 Taylor Place in Germantown from the Titans House block party. The Zone will be here all day long. And for the first time ever, Titans House is open to the public. There is no appointment required. If you are interested in getting tickets to new Nissan Stadium, you want to learn more about it, start the process, come by, free parking, free entrance, 601 Taylor Place in Germantown. You've got a great team ready to help you through that process. JC Latham is about to join us, Ramon Foster, as we begin our final hour here. The rest of our Zone shows will be here today as well. JC Latham running a little bit late, so he is going to join us here in just about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see him when he gets here, man. I'm interested to have a conversation with him. A lot that he's gone through in the last year, playing in a rookie season the way he did and putting himself in a position to be that much better this year. Everybody always say as coaches, what you did in your first year isn't going to wet my whistle in the second year. I need to see a new and improved person, and that's where he is right now as a young pro man. At least on the surface level, he's checked that box. So I want to have that conversation with him to kind of see how it went forward, what his mindset is going into this thing.
Excited to see what this offensive line looks like, Ramon, against a stout Denver Broncos front that led the NFL with 63 sacks last season. The Broncos defense blitzed at the 4th highest rate in the league this season. 37.3% of times opposing quarterbacks dropped back. Vance Joseph's Denver Broncos defense blitzed. Zach Allen led all defensive tackles with 67 pressures last season, which tied for 9th most among all pass rushers in the NFL. This is a stout defensive front. It's a really good back end. This defense can be aggressive too, Ramon, because of how good they are defending one-on-one on the backside.
No doubt about it. And then they also, they know they have weapon X, man, the weather, the altitude. That crowd, I think you'll be pleasantly shocked because it's an NFL environment. You'll be pleasantly shocked at how that crowd gets into it. They understand when to be loud, but they also shut the heck up if you get in front of it and make them be on their back foot a little bit. But, again, we mentioned this a little bit earlier when it comes down to how they have one of the best corners in the game, and his ability to mirror your best wide receiver makes for an interesting adjustment to the game plan. I'm interested to see what Coach Callahan's going to be able to do, but not only just that, my motto when you're trying to establish a game, can you win the line of scrimmage? We understand, and you told us earlier about how Bo Nix is a runner and how efficient their offensive line is for the Denver Broncos too. It should be a good game. I know the Titans are probably not the favorites going into this one, but the unknowns of what Cam Ward is as a quarterback, the newness of what you feel like Coach Brian Callahan can be going into his second year as a play caller, as a leader of this team, it's got to be exciting for them. Now, again, we ain't got to play in those games at all. So watching Coach Callahan adjust and his team should be fun this upcoming week.
How big of an advantage is that for the Titans and the offense with just the unknown of what they could be? Like, how big of a challenge will that be for the Broncos?
It's huge because if you catch them early and they're not able to readjust, and Cam is adding the running element that we mentioned that Bo Nix has, right? Or his escapability to extend drives. That can be very advantageous for this team. I hadn't ever been in a position where you start off the season with a number 1 overall pick quarterback. But I will say this, the threats of what those guys can be and the surprises that you'll have with the plays they'll make is in real time, it could be frustrating for the opposing team, meaning the Denver Broncos. What do you need to do to stop him? And that's where, when we spoke about earlier, Cam's ability to be on script with Coach Callahan and be good. But the other side of that is also his ability to improv. I don't want him going crazy and all those types of things. I don't think he's a 4-4 guy when it comes down to his legs, but his ability to be creative outside the pocket, I'll say this, Will, it can just irk the heck out of you is what it is. And that's what you want for this team and its first showing going on the road like this.
Well, the Titans' first injury report will not be released until tomorrow afternoon, but encouraging signs yesterday, as Jim Wyatt at TennesseeTitans.com writes, corner L'Jarius Sneed, right tackle JC Latham, who's going to join us in about 10 minutes. Defensive lineman T'Vondre Sweat and center Lloyd Cushenberry were all at practice in uniform yesterday. Kevin Winston Jr. and Khalil Mullings were back at practice as well. And T'Vondre Sweat said post-practice that he feels great and does not anticipate having any trouble with the altitude.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That's all I got to say about that. He's supposed. Now, here's the other smart part of
He's a confident guy.
Listen, and I'm okay with that, but I tell you, a big fella like me going into that altitude, the hogs up front, man, I hate the term big uglies, the big handsomes, man.
The big hog mollies
the
up
big
front.
hot mollies up front, man. What I'm telling you is this. There will be an adjustment. There will be a reality check of, whoa, this is different. But here's what I will also say about that. Sometimes we are just sickos in how we go about our preparation as players and athletes, competitors. I'm okay with tricking yourself into saying I'm going to be okay. That's what he's supposed to do. And I ain't mad at it at all, man. Even if you'll never see me sweat. Bert, go to work, Robert Walsh. He is
a bad
a
influence on you,
distraction
isn't he?
over. He is a bad influence.
The
He
kid
looked
in the
at
back
me.
of the class.
Yes, he is.
Throwing wads of paper at you
You
while
don't
you're
e-
trying to answer the teacher's
He
questions.
don't even have a hall
In this
pass.
case, I'm the teacher.
He don't even have a hall pass right now. Where's the principal when you need him,
No,
man?
Bert's the kind of guy that would sell you a hall pass in the hallway. Or sell you an elevator pass, as they say on The Office.
The ones that used to come in paper form,
That's
a hall
right.
pass, and you got
That's
to turn it back
absolutely
in.
right.
But what I'm saying is this. I'm glad that he's telling himself he's going to be all right. I hope one of his veterans do tell him, hey, you better make sure you get some extra conditioning. Coaches would make sure that we hit the elliptical, hit some strides from time to time, man. So I love that for T'Vondre.
You're talking a little bit earlier about DJ Jones, the interior defensive lineman for Denver. In a lot of ways, Ramon, Denver has another version of what the Titans hope to have on their defensive front. In Zach Allen being their Jeffrey Simmons, in DJ Jones kind of being their T'Vondre Sweat.
Yes.
That's what you want T'Vondre and Jeff to end up being. Zach Allen, who led defensive tackles and pressures last season, according to Next Gen Stats, and Jones, who has pass rush ability up the middle as well, but is more than just a big body who eats up space.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And the biggest attribute that DJ Jones has, man, he's a man mover. You're not going to see him fill up the stat lines with sacks or just, over-the-top TFLs and stuff like that. He's a guy that understands his role, and that's what you want more of a guy like T'Vondre Sweat is be a man mover. If they're snapping the ball and you're pushing up the center back and breaking that pocket down, so you got the guys like Jeffrey Simmons and Sebastian Joseph Day to wreak havoc up the middle. Like, that is a job well done. You get paid, you get fed good off of those types of things. And you mentioned like DJ Jones, like he's familiar with a guy like Lloyd Cushenberry who's coming off that Achilles. Now I'm getting to the sicko mode part of like football season real quick. Like, I am going to test that. My job, number one, is going to be if I'm a guy like DJ Jones is familiar with Lloyd Cushenberry, I need to test him. The coaches, Sean Payton, okay, they had a, Pill Gate. I don't know which one of the gates it was down
Bounty
there.
Gate.
Bounty Gate.
With former Titans assistant Greg Williams.
You think he's let go of those old ways? He ain't going to say it out loud.
He's not going to pay them for it. But
he ain't no incentive.
And that's not something that has to come from a coach.
It
That's
ain't.
just the way football players are. If they know you've got an issue on one side of your base and your foundation is a very large human being, they're going to test that.
If you got an elbow brace on, I'm testing it. Do you hear me as a defensive lineman? I'm coming to hit you on that hip every single time. And if I'm a guy like DJ Jones this week, I'm trying to see if Lloyd can hold up when it comes down to me bull rushing him. Now, here's the other part of that coin. Lloyd knows that too. From my understanding, he's told people, I am more than healthy. I'm good to go. I don't deny him at all. But these are the games that we play sometimes as athletes in these situations where that's the beauty of it for me. Sorry, Savage. The beauty of it for me is the one game a week, I got a lot of time on my hand. I have the ability to search and look for stuff and figure out the ways I'm going to attack you because I know if you could do it to me, you would. And that's where you got to be ready for all of the small things. This game is a matter of you minimizing your weaknesses. And there's an apparent one that Lloyd Cushenberry coming off an injury. But the other side of that is I got to show you that you need to find another trick. I'm not the one for the games that you're willing to play on this Sunday coming up. So I'm excited for it. I'm more than geeked about this matchup this upcoming weekend. And it's a 3 o'clock game. Central.
That's right. 3:05 Central, 2:05 local time in Denver. One note from Teron Davenport, Ramon, I thought was interesting. And speaking of braces and things to keep you healthy, he said no sleeves or anything other than shorts for Kevin Winston Jr. Said naked knees for a guy coming back from ACL surgery last September is a good sign for the Titans rookie.
Yeah, to show everybody that's out there involved with it, look, I'm good to go. And I ain't going to lie to you. The year that I had a hyperextended knee, I wore a compression leg sleeve often. I attempted to wear a knee brace, but I did get to that point where I was like, I need to drop this for my own sanity. I need to be able to drop this for my own confidence, man. And that's what it looks like a guy like Kevin Winston Jr. is doing, is removing the caution tape around his body and going forward with it. Again, the mind of an athlete sometimes is weird. And I ain't going to just put it on athletes. I think people in general who are resilient like that, they find ways to trick themselves into saying, this is okay now and I must move forward. So it's a beautiful thing, man, to watch young guys like him to have the ability to contribute, show everybody else that he's in the boat rowing in the same direction.
Live from Titans House at 601 Taylor Place. Fans can look forward to food, drinks, music, and may even catch a glimpse of some special guests throughout the day. Free entrance and free parking. If you're not able to make it, you can book your appointment to visit Titans House and learn all about new Nissan Stadium at newnissanstadium.com. The Titans are at the point of the sales process where all current season ticket members have had a chance to book their appointment. Today we are live from Titans House as it is open to the public and open to you. Let's go ahead and get our break here to begin hour number 4. And when we come back, we'll be joined by Titans right tackle JC Latham after this.
It's Ramon Foster for Prince's Hot Chicken, the original hot chicken, man. They got numerous locations around the city, man, that make themselves very available to you. What I'm telling you, you can go to the original one on 5814 Nolensville Pike. If you like to go to Broadway like a lot of the tourists do in this city when your friends come in town, guess what? You can go to Assembly Food Hall, or if you want to shop a little bit, man, out at the Tanger Outlets. They're located out there to 4060 Cane Ridge Parkway. I can give you all the locations, but I can also tell you go to princesshotchicken.com to get more information. What I do know is this. They have so many classic Southern flavors, man, where you can get plain if you don't like anything hot. Light, mild is where I like to stop. That's just me, okay? Well, they got mild, medium, all the way up to 3X hot if you like to dabble in it. But it's not just the chicken side of it, too. They have mac and cheese, potato salad, baked beans, seasoned fries, greens, and coleslaw. And as we kick off football season, Prince's Hot Chicken does cater, man. They have vegan and vegetarian options for you. They have portobello wraps, chickpea salad sandwiches, and so much more. They can cater a party from 15 people all the way up to 1,000 plus, over 1,000. They can customize anything for your high-end event to your tailgate event. Prince's Hot Chicken has you covered. Simply visit one of the many locations around the city or go to Prince's Hot Chicken, but make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Ramona Willow, 104.5 The Zone is fueled by Scooters Coffee, locally owned near you in Rivergate, Smyrna, Brentwood, White House, or Mount Juliet. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling, Kirby Allen Kirby, Robert Walsh, Eki Bop, and Justin Hawkins helping keep us on the rails. 615-737-1045. JC Latham, as many of you dealing with the traffic, dealing with all the stuff between point A and point B. He is making his way over to us right now as we're going to have him on in a matter of seconds.
Minutes.
What do you want to hear from JC today, Ramon?
Mindset going into year 2. That's always important, man. Like, getting in is usually the hardest part of this process because there's so much that you got to do to get up to this point. It's not the getting in. I know a lot of guys that's done one and done in this league. You know, like dudes they're thinking they're lasting forever. It's the staying. That's the hardest part. How can you get to my goal initially was, man, let me get vested. No, it was first, let me make a team. Then it was let me get vested. That means playing 4 years. Then it was, man, let me get this second contract. And let me get another contract. You know, and like it's a ever evolving process of how do you make yourself accept the challenge of what's next.
Absolutely. And I think I'm interested to hear you talk with JC also about some of the adjustments he's made this offseason, the same way you spoke with Dan Moore, Titans left tackle, who talked about how Bill Callahan was introducing things and techniques and parts of his game that he'd never even thought about or considered before. So excited to see him play, excited to see this offensive line play, as well as they played in preseason, Ramon. Yes, they're baptized by fire in Denver this weekend because they have got one of the best defensive fronts in football that's going to be going up against them. However, I think this Titans offensive line is going to be a strength of this team. I really do.
I do too. I think we saw a little bit of it in preseason. Heck, we saw a good bit of it in practice. I know we're not in a position to speak on everything that we see or say about practice, but I do view them as the expectation for that group to be on the top. Most coaches would prefer, honestly, that the bigs lead. And I say that with all due respect to the superstars that play the skill positions or your edge guys or Jeffrey Simmons or Cam Ward for that matter, right? But if you can make your bigs be on the forefront of all things about your team, the small guys ain't got no choice but to do it too. It's usually the biggest group, literally, and in numbers. And if they are, submitting themselves to the better cause of the team, there's so much that comes with that. And, like I know, too, if your bigs are following the game plan and they are disciplined in that approach, because there's a lot that comes at the bigs way. You usually don't have to run a whole lot. You're physical on every single play that you're on the field, and your ability to show the guys that don't have to be that way, it goes a very long way with just the cohesion of that team, too. So, I know I talk a lot about the bigs and on both sides of the ball, but I promise you, name me a team that's done it, gone to the Super Bowl or to even the NBA championship without one of those types, college or NFL.
Right. I mean, and look what Philadelphia did in last year's Super Bowl.
Seriously.
And they were going up against a good offensive line, but their defensive front was better.
And that's the recipe, and I'm glad to see this squad is doing that here, man. Again, and then the expectation of it, too, from right to left. You got high pedigree guys, and why do we call them high pedigree guys? It's because they've proven and shown that, either out of college or because of the bankroll that those dudes have gotten. There's a lot of pressure in that, but here's the other part of it is, usually that's the only type of notoriety you get is when you have that type of pressure on you to perform because of what you've been given.
No doubt. I think that is going to be a challenge for this week. What I would encourage to fans is if it looks bad on Sunday, that might just mean the Denver Broncos have the best defense in the NFL.
One of them for sure.
That does not have to be an indictment on what the Titans' offense is. I think the NFL and Roger Goodell did the Titans no favors in this being the Week 1 game. I think if you were picking the team to play Week 1 and you're making a list of 1 through 17, Ramon, this might be number 17.
Yeah,
like legitimately.
Yeah.
The altitude, the road trip, the different time change, the quarterback situation is settled there. The offensive and defensive lines are as good as there is in football. I think you can definitely make the argument, Ramon, that the Denver Broncos are as good in the trenches as anybody else in the NFL. I mean, to me, it's Philadelphia Eagles, it's Denver Broncos right there.
No doubt, absolutely. You
So
mentioned Garrett
it's a big
Bowles and his
challenge.
growth that he's had too, no doubt.
JC Latham sitting down with us here at the table, here from
Ramon,
Titans
man.
House in Germantown. Will Bowling, Ramon Foster, pleased to be joined by starting right tackle for your Tennessee Titans.
JC,
Titans
it
and
ain't favorable.
Broncos on
It ain't
Sunday
favorable.
afternoon. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Are you? How happy are you? It's game week. Does it feel good to
Yeah.
get through camp and get
Definitely.
to a different mindset this week?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, camp was it was very interesting this year. It was a lot of back and forth with the offense and defense, and then you heard about the 10-day trip with the 2 joint practices against the Buccaneers and the Falcons. So being able to go compete against somebody else, and now it's live, so it's going towards something a lot bigger than what it was before. So it makes it a lot more exciting having more on the line.
What do you think this team got out of that 10-day trip?
I mean, honestly, everything that we set out before. I mean, in OTAs, when OTA started, honestly, when the season ended January 6th, 5th for us, but 6th when we had our meetings, he told us we were going to establish a new culture here and a new identity for ourselves, but also just look to improve on every area that we needed to improve on, whether I was getting new players. Thank you.
Got your better chair now. There we go.
Whether that was getting new players or whatever we had to do in the building. And then once, OTA started and conveniently right on the draft, that was the standard to say, hey, like, we need to establish our culture now. And, we divided up into teams and, we were rewarded for whether we were hanging out together or executing plays during OTAs, whatever it might have been. And we amplified that to, competitive nature in training camp, to wins and losses, one-on-ones or team goals or whatever it might be. So, when we went on that 10-day trip, it was kind of just to solidify everything that we've been working for. And, we went 1-1. Obviously would have liked to go 2-0, but, we learned from both our wins and our losses. And, we track everything, from the penalties to the drop balls to the sacks to, the blown assignments or, the negative plays or explosive plays, whatever it might be. And you see the glaring differences of the first game that resulted in a loss and the second game that resulted in a win. And we know the standard that we have to play to win games in the NFL. So seeing that standard on the field, but also the culture and our identity off the field as well, that can continue to improve on that chemistry was really important for us.
JC Latham here with us this morning. JC, when you look at what last year was for you, I don't think people understand going from a season that you played in college to training to if you play in a Senior Bowl type of situation, the combine, the visits. You don't really have any time to breathe at all. What was that what was that experience like for you? And also you switched positions going from right to left. How would you summarize what your rookie year was, man, looking back at it right now?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was insane. You really didn't feel the amount of things that you had to go through until that last game ended. And coach was like, we had our meetings and stuff like that on the 6th, and he was like, all right, I'll see you April 22nd. And like, that was my first time in my life where I was just like, oh shoot, like I don't have no obligation, no class. Like obviously you're gonna get your workouts in and stuff like that, but that's it. So it's like for me, especially then, that gave me time to really hone in on my nutrition, hone in on my skills. But it was like I can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and work out at 9 or 10, be done by 12, and that's the day. So just having that opportunity. But yeah, it was a long year, and obviously every rookie kind of has to go through that adjustment phase. And I feel like I went through it pretty well up until the end. Obviously, I wish I would have finished better, but just to have that chance in that offseason to really capitalize on everything you wanted to do, was really important to me.
We never make an excuse, especially playing on the offensive line. Because you came in with a lot. You come into the organization expecting you to play well up front, top 10 pick. Would you say the rookie wall is real? I don't think anybody's ever just really asked. Would you say it's real, though? Especially as much as you played. Playing in the spot position is different. Like you wide receiver or running back, maybe not as much. It's an every play thing for you, over 1,000 snaps last year.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't want to say it is. I kind of feel like last year, like I wasn't tired. Like I wasn't like, maybe it's because like playing in Alabama, like you're going to play all the way through until, January. So now obviously here the playoffs are a lot longer, extending all the way to February. But, for us, that slate of practices and everything that we did, it didn't feel like I hit a wall, more so just to honestly, like, it was just kind of crazy for me to get to, like, Thanksgiving and be like, we're doing this 8 more weeks. So it's like, that was just kind of a crazy moment. Yeah. But, I mean, if you love to play ball, you're fired up, because if you have a couple great games or a bad game or a bad play, whatever it might be, there's just so much ball left. And I remember after we beat the Texans, even though I had a bad game that game, I was thinking that not only did I have, I think, 7 more games to go after that, but also having the ability to, we had a chance if we would have won out to be a potential playoff team. So, despite all the things that can go wrong, in college football, you lose a game or two and season's pretty much a wrap from there. Here it's like you can lose, like we lost a lot early, and if we would have won out after that Thanksgiving, we still could have had a chance to not only be above 500, but like I said, a playoff team. So it's just really exciting, put a lot on the line. So
when you view this offseason, you mentioned you had a little bit more time to breathe. What's your adjustments, expectation going into it? Because most coaches in the NFL will tell you what you did in year 1 won't excite me in year 2. How you feel going to this year, going to the right side? Your body has changed. Your mind and understanding of the league has changed. What's your expectations and what did you learn that you want to bring to this year?
Yeah, just the emphasis of every single play. Every play holds so much weight. It can change the momentum of, a drive or even the game. So if you're, not playing with that same intensity on every single play, and the defensive guy brings it up a notch or whatever it might be, that could change everything. Yeah. And a play can change a game can change a season, however it might be, depending on when that particular situation occurs. But I get excited and fired up because going into this year, like, the weight was a concern, and getting all of that off was great for me. Also, just being able to move and redirect and play fast and physical, something that I look to improve on from year 1 to year 2. So, and then just being a guy that my teammates can depend on, being a good teammate, being a good player for the coaches, and just being a cornerstone for my team.
Titans right tackle JC Latham, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will, live from Titans House in Germantown. JC, being on the road with you guys and being on the sideline for the radio crew, I've seen you coaching up a lot of your teammates, and specifically Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon in Tampa. Saw you going through hand placement and talking about things, and you're fired up after one of his big run blocks in that game. How important is it for you to be a leader for this offense and on this team and help mentor some of these rookies and young guys who are coming in?
Yeah, I think for the 2 main reasons why, like, it motivates me to keep doing it, and I won't say like I'm, leader of the offense yet, whatever it might be, but from a little kid, especially when I was in school, like, I always liked math, and my teachers would tell me like, hey, you're not really mastering it yet until you can teach it to somebody else, So being able to teach the skill to somebody else not only helps him get better, helps us get better, help us compete, but it ensures that I know what I'm talking about, and it ensures that what I'm doing and how I'm teaching it, I'm on top of my game, and I'm mentally locked in to where I can teach it to somebody else. So that's really important to me. And then also just to create an environment, if someone out there, and I'm not saying he was struggling, but if someone out there has an immense amount of potential or whatever it might be, to make him better and keep him going, because iron sharpens iron. So eventually he'll be at the point where he's competing for a starting job, and that makes me want to go harder because, my job's on the line, whatever it might be. So, and that only makes the team better because now we're competing, and then another group of guys might see that and be like, hey, like, we'll love to compete like how they're competing. A guy that doesn't get enough credit is John Ojukwu, OJ. Every single day we compete, and from spring, every day we run after practice. We always do, hand activation things or whatever it might be, pass sets, and every day we're trying to sharpen each other. Every day we try to lead the drills and, compete with one another, so it trickles down to the rest of the group, and, it starts with the O-line, so it can trickle down to the team and everything else.
That running after practice, how's that been for you?
It's been tough. In college, I ran a lot, and everybody was kind of telling me, like, make sure you're being careful because you don't want to hurt yourself. So, and I feel like that was one thing I did tire myself out with early on, because I would do a crazy amount of running because I was just so concerned about always staying in shape, but also, just trying to maintain that weight as well. And going into this year, being smarter about what the conditioning you do after practice, like making sure you're getting good conditioning in, but you're not killing yourself because it is a long season. It is a season that, has a lot of different chapters within it. So if you early on, take yourself out because you're doing too much, not only are you hurting yourself, but you're hurting the team as well. You're not, the best thing that was told to me, one of the best things was the best ability is availability. Yeah. So if you take yourself out, then you're not really doing too much good for anybody else.
We're joined by Titans right tackle JC Latham. JC, you guys have a little bit of a youth movement, man. Yourself, Cam Ward, Elekai Maynor, Peter Skoronski's in that boat with you guys, man. What does it feel like to have the support of your head coaches and position coaches to say, it doesn't matter your age, lead. If you got it, show it.
Yeah, it's awesome to have a coach that has a lot of faith in us, and early on, giving the keys to us to kind of just go out and be great and be successful. Some guys will feel like, oh, they're young, so they can't say anything, whatever. But he encourages us to not only be ourselves and be the leaders that we know we can be, but also, from a program like Alabama telling me, like, hey, bring that success and that mindset that you had there here and establish that here and establish that with your teammates. And, same with Cam Ward, well, he, kind of, I don't want to say brought Miami back, but kind of, reestablished that program last year, bring that here. And, Peter Skoronski and how he leads in his way, bringing that here as well. So, and then establishing it with us while we're young because, we're going to be here for a while. So being the cornerstone of the team to where any guy that comes in, whether it's trade or draft pick, whatever it might be, that they know that this is our culture and we've established this. So.
Well, it's speaking of Cam, man, I know everybody asks y'all about Cam, but he's the quarterback. He's the franchise. I had my coach tell me it's the owner, then it's probably the quarterback, then the coaches. Cam is in that position. It can get tiring sometimes leading or trying to pull guys to the finish line. Cam joins you in that, man. What has it been like with watching him grow up, challenge guys, and be in a position to bring some more relevancy to this team?
Yeah, it's been really cool to see, especially early on. Everybody's seen the clips of him and Shedeur competing and practicing and everything that they do, and how he talks to him and he goes. And I remember the first time I saw it, I think it was before my junior year of college, to where they were working out. And Shedeur got some water, and Cam didn't, and he was like, "Oh, real dogs don't need water," and yada yada yada. And he was just basically saying, Shedeur was trying to say, "Oh, it's Colorado, the air is thin." He was like, "I'm in Miami, hottest place to be, and I don't need water." So, you know what I mean? Seeing that side of him, and then he comes here, and my mind or my thought process was like, okay, I wonder when that'll turn on, you know. And he was quiet for the first little bit, obviously leading when he needed to lead, but. What really brought the best out of him was Jeff. When he got here and he started talking, that's when you saw the different side of Cam start to awaken, the more vocal side of Cam, and the more, I don't want to swear, but the more trash-talking side of Cam.
I was savvy pro over here.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting to see that. And, that happened in OTA, so now being in the full swing of things, where Cam has, an immense amount of confidence, and it's only going to grow with, real-life game reps. But, yeah, so it's been really exciting to see somebody
on the trash talk side of it for the quarterback, usually they kind of hold y'all back.
Yeah.
You might have to get to a point to where you tell Cam, shut up. You ain't got to block him. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, have y'all had that conversation yet?
Yeah,
like,
I don't really care what he says. If he pisses somebody off that I got to block, they got to deal with me. I'm not thinking I got to deal with them.
No doubt.
But, no, it's fun. I remember because I didn't practice these past few days, and we were on the phone. And he told me, he was like, man, when this game come, I'm gonna need you to crash out. And I'm like, Cam, I'm not gonna crash out. He's like, well, I'm gonna crash out, and I need you to crash out with me. So it's like, having a guy like that is awesome to because he's letting all his energy out there. He's not hiding anything or sugarcoating anything. So you do good, bad, whatever it might be. You always got a guy like him in your corner to. Just pick everything up. So.
No doubt.
Titans tackle JC Latham, our guest. JC, big challenge in Denver this upcoming weekend. What makes that defense so good to you?
Yeah, I mean, they're a group that plays with an immense amount of effort. All 11 hats to the ball. They look to stop the run, and then they have a great secondary. Defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain. So, you stop the run and now you got to try to pass it, and he's going to take away half the field. So now the coverage can kind of shift away, and you got one guy taking away half the field and the rest of the defense on the other side. So this is just a great defense. And then you got Allen, 99, up front, who's really good. Nick Bonita, 0. So, they got a good front four group of guys, good linebackers. So, from, top to bottom, just a very talented group, a very well-coached group, a group that's going to play their heart out every single play from the first play to the last. So, very exciting group, team to play against, especially for the opener. And I know they got a lot that they're looking to prove as well because, last year with the loss against the Bills, they're looking to kind of, play with a chip on their shoulder.
Titans tackle JC Latham. I got to ask you on the way out, how annoying have your teammates been about week 1 of college football and how it went for Alabama on Saturday?
Yeah.
I'll let you go on the offensive. I won't put you in a tough spot. I'll let you call out your teammates for being annoying about it this week.
Yeah, they have got on my case, especially with the FSU quarterback. I can't even pronounce his name, but he did a great job, and he said it like, Saban's not there no more, so they don't have nobody protecting them, and he walked the walk and he talked it after. So
we made fun of him when he said it. We were surprised as you were.
I was with the 17-year-old. I'm like, yo, they're gonna sledgehammer to an ant.
Right. So but hey, he said it and he dropped his nuts and he went out and played. So you gotta respect that at the end of the day. But I think it's a new era in college football, especially with NIL, where back in the day, guys were, I don't want to say guys are softer now, but, back in the day, all the top guys wanted to go to Alabama to play with the top guys. And now it's like, if you get I don't want to say a lower school, but a school that maybe not as big as
Texas
Alabama.
Tech right now.
Whatever it might be.
Spending it.
Yeah, so and they're just able to get higher caliber players. So now the diversity of players are expanding to where it's more even playing field now, especially. So now you're really going to see and I think it's true what the Texas head coach said about not really seeing another undefeated national champion anymore, because now every team is going to have a group of really good players. It's not going to be, Alabama with 25 5-stars and the next school already has like 10. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how things go out. I'm not worried about Alabama at all. I know, the kind of culture we have over there, battle-tested and being able to play through anything. But it'll be really interesting to see how everything goes. But, yeah, definitely got a lot of flake for the week 1 loss.
I got one for you because you almost went into game planning a little bit, man. You mentioned Patrick Surtain and how he can shut down the side of the field. Just on a sense of mental growth for the game, because the physical part, everybody does that. We know how the game goes, but it's the mental part where you meet a 7-year vet and he's got you locked. Where is your game grown mentally as far as whether it's film, understanding of defenses? One thing I had to figure out was like corners, safety, shifting of the nickel slot and stuff like that. What has Coach Bill Callahan taught you, and you've grown in like breaking guys down? Like you see feet. We had a tail on a dude one time, but he put his hands on his knees, they were passing. If they were up, they were running. Like, where have you grown in that department?
Yeah, just recognizing, I don't want to give out the game plan.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying personally, was it something you picked up on? I was like, oh, I got him now.
Yeah, just recognizing the defenses, seeing, looking at like the safety tails. It's really the best defenses can disguise the safety is really good, but recognizing that, understanding fronts and understanding that at the end of the day, no matter who you are or what it is, you have to be defensive sound.
You gotta show it.
So whether you're the worst defense in the league or the best defense in the league, you have to have each gap accounted for. So understanding that philosophy and how that's going to be, and the run or the pass, someone's going to have to account for that gap. And I like even just talking to guys like Jeff or hearing Jeff talk or talking to linebackers or safeties like. Yesterday I got a chip on a pass play, and the edge went all the way inside, and Jeff was like, on this play you can't go inside because I got to bull rush the B gap. So if you go inside, the edge is open. So understanding like just a whole bunch of things that go into playing defense, and understand that their assignment, so you can play faster. Because if you stop one guy on defense and everybody else does their job, you can make a big play. So just that's the big thing going from year 1 to year 2. And like I said, just having the conversations with the defense is like, hey, what's your tell? Like what are we doing that's giving this away? Or, Cody Barton's a great example, calling out G-Trap with the, alignments of everybody and the alignments of the O-line. He, able to call it out, get into a position that makes it really hard for us to block him. And then, just like I said, just doing a great job. Even Xavier Woods calling out, gap scheme down at the inside the 3 when he's like, hey, you guys got 2 tight ends attached. If you guys want to run a tight end to a flat, I'll take that risk, but I'm blowing up this gap right here.
Wow.
Because I know it's
so
going to be
intricate.
doing. So, yeah, everybody's so smart and so, quick to adapt to what's coming on, what's going on. So that's having those conversations helped me play better and faster, so I know exactly what's coming.
I'll tell you what, you got a long playing year ahead of you, but career ahead of you, but you got a future doing this if you want it. 'Cause that's the way you're breaking down the game. It's impressive, man.
Offensive
Really good
linemen are
stuff.
the smartest
That's
dudes on
true.
the field.
I know that as well as anybody.
Seriously,
JC
what are we
Latham.
doing?
JC Latham, our guest this morning here in Ramona. Will, JC, thanks so much for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate you.
JC Latham with us. We'll wrap up the show in Ramona. Will, coming up next.
It's Ramon and Will for Volunteer Traditions. Yes, that volunteer tradition. But nobody does it better than Vol's Tradition, man. It started back in 06 on campus, man. It's grown to one of the best Vol apparels on the market. Polos, outerwears, tees, hats, and more, man. Perfect for Saturdays at Neyland. You can head over to volunteertraditions.com and load up on their new apparel. And if you're looking for the best game day apparel, look no further than them, Will.
That's exactly right, Ramon. The throwback logos, the new stuff, the classic fit of Volunteer Traditions. It's been a part of Tennessee game days since 2006. Started on campus by a Vol, for Vols fans. The brand has grown into the go-to place for anyone looking to represent Tennessee. Head online, volunteertraditions.com. They got hats, they got polos, they got Q-zips. They've got everything that you need. I love the lightweight hoodies myself for this time of year. Go and see them online at volunteertraditions.com. Wrapping up the show here from Titans House in Germantown, R&W, Robert and Will.
There you go.
To wrap us up, Ramon is off doing important things because he has more jobs than all of us in this room put together. So Robert Walsh is hanging out with us. We are not going to spoil the story of the engagement, but I will say congratulations, first of all. While we do have you on the microphone. Congrats to you and your lovely fiancée, Cheyenne.
Yeah, she's all right. Naturally, I was the bigger catch, but, I had to prop her up enough. We'll talk about it more on the other side. But I'm disappointed in myself for not thinking this through, because all weekend, instead of watching college football and enjoying, what a great weekend, by the way.
Oh, so good.
I had to be checking my phone, checking box scores, because I couldn't watch the game because all I was thinking about was this dadgum proposal.
It's a lot.
So it was a dumb decision on my part. I should have just cranked it out before we left and been like, oh, hey, by the way, baby, you want to do this, or is you is or is you ain't going to be my baby? But other than that, great weekend. Great week. Great to be back. Great to be back.
Well, I imagine for people who have lived in the state of North Carolina, who are from the state of North Carolina, who are not wearing Carolina blue, this is a great morning. Oh, and you would put yourself in that category, wouldn't you? How much pride did you take or happiness did you take from Chapel Bill getting pantsed last night on national television?
They reached the highest highs and the lowest lows in a 4-hour span. I think you could say that any college football, maybe sans the touchdown Tennessee had at home against Georgia, like the first play where the place was electric.
Literally like shook on the Richter scale. It's the loudest moment on record in Neyland Stadium history.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Literally.
But like he just getting pants like that in front of everybody, where they're like, oh, we really got it, Gio Lopez. This is going to be awesome. And then you just get dogged out in front of in front of Michael Jordan and Petey Pablo, who's from Greenville, by the way. They just used him for the raise up. Now, he's not y'all's. He is ECU's. Y'all just paid him enough money that he came out of the Petey Pablo hole to do his song. But I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic to watch the life leave all of those blue-haired grannies in the crowd before they could even get to week number 2.
I mean, for real, it was a wide range of emotions, and you had a quarterback the same age as the head coach's girlfriend who played in the fourth quarter of the game, and Max Johnson. That is something we won't be able to say about any other game this year, so we got to get it out now. I don't know. If Kenny Dillingham had a really old quarterback, he'd be the other closest. But there was a video we were laughing at in the break. There's a video of Jordan Hudson walking up to Bill on the sideline at one point, and somebody captured it and said, "You got $20 for the concession stand?" And that is just unbelievably just ridiculous, but in the best way.
You knew the internet was going to dunk on them. TCU's X account blew them out of the water.
Yeah, of all the accounts to play in week 1, that was not the best one for old Bill.
All the statisticians were out there pulling the best stats. It was like, it's been 11 years since UNC has lost by this magnitude. Bill Belichick's girlfriend was also in middle school.
She was 13.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of those. You're going to get a lot of those.
Brutal. Well, it was certainly an interesting conclusion to the football weekend. Who had the worst weekend, Arch Manning or Bill Belichick?
Oh, I would
add that to the polls.
I would almost go off the board and say Kalen DeBoer.
Fair enough.
But probably Arch. Probably Arch. I think with the expectations, just looked like a regular dude. Looked like they were. What were they saying? Texas is going to arch their back or something like that. It's like we are no longer arching the back for Arch.
Peyton and Eli may be his uncle, but he's throwing like Uncle Rico. Was the worst one I saw for Arch over the weekend. He is Big Boss Bert. He is engaged Big Boss Bert. Joining us this morning for the final segment as Ramon does important things. Buck Rising Show, what you got coming up today?
We got Femi Oladejo. We're talking a little bit about the college weekend. I don't do these things. I kind of just show up and provide moral support.
Perfect. Well, Robert Walsh provides moral support for the Buck Rising Show, and you will hear the engagement story coming up in a matter of minutes. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you, man.
All right. Buck Rising Show next. Come join us 601 Taylor Place in Germantown. All of our shows here until 6 through 3 HL. Back at it tomorrow in studio. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone.